Hey, so welcome everybody. Today we are here to hear the students' final presentation for their Inspire Oakland billboard design. Sean, do you want to start the event with some words?
Yeah, we are so excited that we had to break our own brand guideline and go crazy with this graphic. I'm seeing a lot of great judges here. Just to name a few: Square, HCL, IBM, Etsy, Kaiser Permanente, Twitter, Facebook, Twilio, Google, Salesforce, and of course, the good folks at Bridgegood, and our alums are here as well. So thank you, judges, and I'm going to be thanking you out through this entire thing. Shout out to Cisco as well. And we are so excited to be here in 2021, the 12th annual design challenge. You'll see one thing that's different this year. We have 22 designers pitching this year. Instead of 5-minute intervals, it'll be 3-minute intervals. So they're going to be quicker, it's going to be more exciting. And let's go ahead and inspire Oakland. Round of applause. Yeah, 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 yeah. Inspire Oakland. Thank you, Yudi.
Hey, to our audience in Facebook, thank you for joining us today. If you are not familiar with everything that we do, I will just kind of talk about it here. We are Bridgegood. We are a nonprofit organization, a 501c3 organization. We have a design studio for good, and we also have a web application that is called bridgegood.com that all students that are in the creative field can join for free. Yes, we are supported by Google, Adobe, and the Warriors, and we're here to provide design and tech opportunities.
Great. And one of the things that we're really excited about this year is how do we get back to human engagement? You know, we've all been virtual. Everyone here has been virtual. And our board of directors and team really gave it a lot of thought. And instead of, you know, the fear of we're never going back to work, we actually decided to triple down and secure a Jack London Square facility. So I'm happy to announce that we will be expanding and the grand opening is coming soon. I'll show that on the next slide. But this is really about how do we rediscover and reimagine human engagement. Once again, so many champions here that were part of Resilience, the fundraiser that made it possible. So if you've been part of that fundraising team, thank you for doing that. If you've been a part of a company that's donated, thank you. We're making it happen. And shout out, of course, to the students that make all of this possible. This is a recent article that was written by our board member, Lisa Tolles. It shows a little bit of the venue there at Jack London Square. It is 3,000 square feet, so we tripled up our space. Our goal is to allow students to use it for free, and those slots will be sponsored by companies. So we're trying to reimagine what does the new generation of designers look like, and how can we cultivate them? So really exciting news. The next slide, we have a grand opening on June 4th. If you want to RSVP, this is for everyone watching live, as well as everyone that's watching this recorded. bit.ly/Bridgegood Jack London. Once again, it is in Jack London Square. We're right next to the Oakland A's and the ferry that goes into San Francisco. If you cannot make it, we would ask that you could donate. bridgegood.org/donate. We have a lot of refreshments. And from 12 to 3, during the day, there's gonna be guests dropping by. 1 p.m. we have the ribbon cutting ceremony, and then at 2 we're gonna do a group photo. And so if you feel safe and you are ready to mingle with Bridgegood, let's do it safely. And thank you all for participating and doing that. We're so excited. Also, I wanted to note the monetary sponsors. You know, volunteerism is amazing. These 3 companies stepped up for 2021. I want to personally thank Craig Newmark, who is one of my heroes, the founder of Craigslist, who made a substantial contribution, as well as Adobe for stepping up this year and sponsoring scholarships for our UX design apprenticeship. And then just last week, google.org is helping us with the UX pilot as well. So deepest gratitude to these three champions that really went out of their way to support us. Thank you. Great. So this is our 12th annual design challenge. And really, it's as simple as this. We want an iconic design that answers what about Oakland inspires you. And you can imagine over 12 years, we've seen the gamut of designs, right? So when you're looking at the designs tonight, think about creativity, think about diversity, innovation. Think about, if it is Lake Merritt, is this something that I haven't seen? And when I say, that we're getting known and Inspire Oakland's becoming a movement on its own, I hit up the owner of House Kombucha for a donation for June 4th. And she's like, I already know your organization. I see your billboards everywhere, right? And so we really want to highlight not just Oakland, but the creators, which are 22 of the most dope designers that will be presenting tonight. We had benches go up, thanks to Fast Agent Kenny, who sponsored this now, I think for the 4th or 5th year. And the reason I really love the benches is that it's embedded in the community. Folks in the community interact with it in different ways, public transportation, and everything from Angela Davis all the way through drummer boy Aaron. We had a really good collection from last year. So thank you to everyone that judged last year. We had a really great collection. Shout out to Coca, who everyone should know by now, who went through the Inspire Oakland, then the UX Design Apprenticeship, and then one of our partners, Beyond, which is an agency in San Francisco, then took Coca on as a paid intern, and the rest is history. So within 1 year, going from not even a designer to becoming an official designer to landing a job, shout out to Coca, a great example for the rest of us. Great. 750 students. I want to take a second here to thank Yudi for her amazing work, doing the outreach, doing the hard work behind the scenes to being in front of 750 plus students. Very difficult. 80 design entries completed to specs. And what that means is we received probably 300, but 80 actually followed the directions, right? And we know that as a student, sometimes that's hard. So maybe they won't be a part of Inspire Oakland this year, but next year. And then those 80, we picked the top 22, which was not easy. There were some folks that didn't make it, and they were 0.25 points off out of 5. So it was a very close race, but today you'll see the top 22. Again, thank you, Yudi, for the amazing community outreach that you do. And also thank you to these schools that have been participating all the way from Fresno to Sonoma to San Francisco and everything in between. We appreciate the instructors. So if you're an instructor, shout out to you and thank you for doing what you do. Here they are. These are just some of the instructors. Why don't we do a round of applause for these amazing instructors that they're doing the hard work of teaching the software. Bridgegood comes in and supplements them with some real world experience. Teachers are our heroes. Absolutely. Thank you on behalf of the board. And what it's really about is launching design careers and tech jobs. We mentioned the great companies that are here today, from Square to Etsy, Twitter, Facebook, Google, Salesforce. And there you can see the tower. Many of our students do decide to take what we teach them specifically in UX and get jobs in tech. Some choose not to. Some decide to get in the nonprofit world. Some decide to get into studio work. Some decide to go to small businesses. The goal is to help you become a process-driven designer, and that's what Bridgegood's for. On behalf of the board of directors, staff, our volunteers, and all of our students, thank you so much to the honorary judges. We thank you, and we know that dedicating 3 hours on a Tuesday is not what you wanted to do after work, just joking, but you are inspiring a lot of these students. These students have been working, some for 3-4 months on one design, right? So they are really excited to be here. They've put in a lot of work, and I hope that you'll see how hard they've worked. So on behalf of Bridgegood, Yudi, myself, thank you very, very much. And we're going to be choosing these designs off the following criteria. Okay. City centric. Does the design focus on Oakland? Professionalism. Do you see them skewed, distorted, meaning the designs? Are they formatted correctly? Did they design to the specific medium? For example, social media might have hashtags, right? Because it's made for social media. If it's a big billboard, you can probably see small letters. If it's a smaller bus bench, you might not have the ability to read small. Mission aligned, is it something you can see Bridgegood getting behind? Conciseness, is it easily digested in 2 to 4 seconds? Engagement, do I want to take a photo of it and share it, right? That's really important for us. Originality, I mentioned this earlier, if it is Lake Merritt, is it different? And if it is different, is it something that you could picture on a billboard and invest $5,000 into? So each billboard typically is about $5,000. So that's why we say feasibility. Would you invest $5,000 in the design? Now, each of you get 3 votes. So while we're going through these designs, take notes on your own, and the form that Yudi sends out later, you'll be able to select your top 3. And she'll have a little thumbnail by each as well. So we wanted to welcome the honorary judges with, notice we put 15-second intros. So name, company, business role, and under 15 seconds, and take it from here. Wait, I mean, do we just start calling everyone?
I was just going to volunteer myself. Yeah. My name is Jerry. I am at Etsy, and I'm a product designer on the international team.
Hey, I'm Ali. I'm a producer at Facebook for internal comms.
My name is Wandy. I'm a design program manager at Twitter.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm from Cisco, and I'm an experience and design architect.
Hi, I'm Ken. I work with Tiffany. I'm also in a UX team at Cisco.
I'm Lisa Tolles. I'm a board member, and I am a senior manager of operations and client advocacy.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, and you can go ahead.
Thanks. Just to keep the Lisa stream going. And I'm a senior manager in healthcare strategy.
My name is Fernando. I'm a designer and artist here in San Francisco, California.
I'm Sean. I work at Twitter. I do marketing for the design research team.
Hi, I'm Jose. I'm a principal architect at Cisco.
Hi, I'm Alex. I am a community engagement manager at Kaiser Permanente.
Hi, I'm Juan, and Juan Aguilar, and I work at Kaiser Permanente as a multimedia. I do all kinds of stuff.
Hi, I'm Jyoti. I'm a product designer at Lacework.
Hello, I'm Paul. I'm a design director at Lacework.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay. I'm also a product designer at Lacework.
Hi, everyone. I'm Venus Key, and I work with Kaiser Permanente Northern California, and I'm in community relations.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Sheet. I work at US Bank, and I'm also the co-treasurer for Bridgegood.
Everyone, my name is Kevin Louie. I'm a director of sales operations at Twilio, and I'm also the board president of Bridgegood.
Hey y'all, I'm Jasmine. I work at Salesforce and I'm an associate design ops producer.
Hi folks, my name is Ahmed. I'm the community affairs lead at Square and really excited to be here.
Hi everybody, my name is Tiana. I'm an impact advisor with Medici Ventures, also a board member of Bridgegood.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anika Edwards. I am a construction project manager for Kaiser Permanente. Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. Jasmine Mora, also with Kaiser Permanente. I'm a business consultant supporting our business resource group program.
All right, anyone else?
I may be the last one. Hi, everyone. I'm Mario, independently consulting at Robert Half. Nice to see everyone.
Mario.
Hi, everyone. This is Maha Razaki. Also work at Kaiser Permanente based in Seattle, Washington. I work in equity, inclusion, diversity.
Hey everyone, this is Cliff, also with Kaiser Permanente out here in Washington region, and I'm a program manager. Wasn't sure what the order was, but I wanted to make sure I got myself out some time to do the introductions as well. Glad to be here. Thanks everyone.
Awesome. Anyone else? Everyone stayed under 15 seconds. Thank you judges. And for all the students that are presenting today, we have so many great judges. So do your best. You have 3 minutes and let's get going.
So the students will be presenting in alphabetical order. Students, if you want to take a screenshot of this slide, go ahead and do so, as you will know who you're going after. Once again, students will be presenting in alphabetical order by the first name. And this is just a screenshot of how our Bridgegood.com is looking nowadays, right? It's been a long way. As you can see, it's responsive. You can view it on desktop, you can view it on your mobile, and you can also view it on a tablet. And now we're gonna start with the presentations. Students know that you will see a slide like this one, pretty much blank with your name on it. And know that when you see the slide, you are next. Each student will have 3 minutes to present, and the judges will have 1 minute to provide any feedback or ask questions during this 1 minute. Also, the instructors that are in the room are welcome to provide that feedback or ask the questions. So Amy, you're up next. 3 minutes, starting now.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Liu, and I'm currently a graphic design student at Cal State East Bay. Before I started pursuing my degree, I grew up oogling over movie posters, food boxes, and book covers. I'm a visual problem solver who uses images to give further context about my thought process. My connection to Oakland is that I was born there and always spent time eating and shopping with my family, especially during Chinese New Year and the Mid-Autumn Festival. Speaking of which, my billboard theme is Chinatown Community. To further elaborate, this design is inspired by Chinatown as an artistic response to the wave of anti-Asian discrimination happening all over America, especially in urban cities like Oakland. Oakland inspires me because their local Chinatown is where my family and I go to in order to keep ourselves connected to our cultural roots, especially in a family with first and second generation immigrants. Next slide, please. Throughout the creative process, I used Adobe Illustrator and I toyed with many symbols of Oakland, such as the city's tree logo in my earliest drafts. I also placed a person front and center. That's a stylized version of me because not only was I born in Oakland, I also wanted people to recognize how Oakland Chinatown helps people like me to straighten their cultural roots. Oakland Chinatown's flowery red and yellow streetwalk designs, as well as silhouettes of the city skyline and Buddhist pagoda, help illustrate the billboard setting. I also included people doing activities like exercising, shopping, and eating, as well as a visual reminder of everyday life in Oakland. They're based off of my family and cousins. Next slide, please. The Inspire Oakland phrase was handwritten with black markers before digitizing it via Adobe Illustrator to evoke brushstrokes from Chinese calligraphic art. It's also presented as a banner as a celebration of culture in Oakland. The woman has a rose and claw marks to symbolize Oakland's diverse community, with the rose representing Hispanics and the claw marks representing the Black community. They also double as emotional wounds from physical discrimination like racism. At the top, the glowing lantern symbolized hope for the future. This point is driven home with the woman's eyes facing upwards to the sky, hoping for a better future. And next slide, please. Here are the many variations of this billboard design for different mediums. In conclusion, my billboard designs paint Oakland Chinatown as a safe haven for minorities to not only connect with their cultural roots, but also straighten them, even throughout adversities such as discrimination. And I would like to thank instructors Jana Green and Catherine Lee for helping me straighten my designs, even when I only requested that I use their names for the contact info. And thank you for listening.
Hey, judges, do you have any feedback or comments or instructors? Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, I have a comment. Nice to meet you, Amy. My name is Wandy. I work at Twitter. I wrote it in the chat, but I really like that you brought this message of anti-racism in here, because I do think that it's important that in the work that we do, we bring our humanity. So I really like that you didn't shy away from it and that you leaned into a message that is bigger than all of us. So congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah, I was impressed with this design. I thought it was great that you could look at it and see in 1 second what it says with Inspire Oakland and notice the woman, and then if you like the design, you can look further in the back and pick out more things that are beautiful with it. So you did a great job.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next student, Adam. Thank you, judges.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Young. I'm a visual designer studying graphic design and web design at College of San Mateo. The title of my design is Oakland Dreamland. Next slide, please. I used to live in Oakland near Rock Ridge. I remember that area was bustling with great restaurants and unique shops. But when I think about Oakland, the first image that comes to my mind is just a family with little kids taking a walk in the neighborhood, just singing and laughing. Oakland has been always inspired me as a kid-friendly place where children can love its nature and culture throughout all the great places in Oakland. The main theme of my design is a kids-friendly Oakland. It's featuring 3 famous places: Oakland Zoo, Chabot Space, and Science Center, and Fairyland. With this design, I want to inspire the community, especially children, to enjoy and appreciate what the city is offering for them. Next slide, please. Thank you. This is my main bulletin design. To make this design kids-friendly, I made it in flat and cute style, looking like all the elements are kind of floating around in a kid's dream after spending a fun day in Oakland. I chose a color green and color yellow for main color scheme. Color green represent nature of Oakland. Oakland has a lot of great nature and wildlife area throughout the city. Especially when you go on a gondola ride at Oakland Zoo, you can really see the cities just harmonizing with the great mother nature. Color yellow shows the optimism and creativity in Oakland. Oakland's been through many ups and downs in its history, but the community always has been showing just its hope and standing strong for each other. On top of that, the color green and yellow resonate with the Oakland A's, which has a strong connection to the community. Next slide, please. So here are my designs for social media flyer, bus bench, and LED, and a t-shirt. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I'd like to give a special thanks to Bridgegood for this opportunity. Also, Sean and Yudi for just guiding us through the process, and my school instructor, Vera Feinstein. Most of all, just my family who's been supporting me and loving me so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, judges or instructors, feedback or questions? Okay, thank you, Autumn. We'll move on to our next student, Christopher Cruz.
Hi, first off, thanks for being here. My name is Christopher Cruz. I'm a mixed Filipino-American first-generation college student, a U.S. Navy veteran and illustrator currently pursuing a BFA at California College of the Arts in illustration after transferring from CCSF. I was born and lived in San Francisco as a kid and moved all around the Bay before joining the military out of necessity in order to later pursue my dreams as an artist. As I grow into the role, my goal right now would be to become an editorial illustrator that would help bring attention to the important issues in the world that get so often overshadowed and silenced. Next slide, please. My Inspire Oakland theme is Inspire Oakland, Inspire Play. The process for this first involved researching and developing a concept around the Nigerian word Luishe, the city of Oakland's motto translated as love life, a dedication to Luishe Lacey. When I got back from the Navy, I spent most of my time in Oakland. Some of the fondest memories of the city has had to be the times walking through Lake Merritt on bustling days where the people in the community is out and about. I chose this concept and wanted to convey that feeling through a comic book and nostalgic style influence. I made sketches and retooled the piece iteration after iteration with feedback from the students and Sean and Yudi after attending the Inspire Oakland Open Labs. Next slide, please. For my piece, what I wanted to do was encourage the active play. I know the scene has been done before, but I think it has to be reinforced daily because our society is constantly fixated on work. It feels as if every day we are so focused on monetizing all of our hobbies, and kids today are busy watching streamers instead of going outside or even playing games themselves. There's an expectation for us to be successful, yet what is success if we are unable to enjoy the world around us, the people around us, and this life that we have been given? Through play, we are able to embody Oakland's motto, love life. Through play, we encourage the youth to slow down and enjoy the moment. Through play, we encourage health and development. Through play, we inspire exploration. Through play, we inspire creativity. And through play, we inspire empathy towards the people and world around us. Next slide, please. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here and supporting us. And thank you to Bridgegood for coming to City College a few years ago and introducing Bridgegood to me, especially their old member, Marcus Creel, for making me feel welcome when I was able to go to the events in person. Thank you for this opportunity and being an important platform for Bay Area students all over. Yeah, thank you to my girlfriend, Trista, for supporting me throughout everything and having my back through all of this. And finally, thank you to my family for encouraging me to pursue these dreams when I was younger and cultivating a childhood that would bring me to where I am now.
Hi, Christopher. First of all, thank you for your service. And second of all, I love your illustration style. And like I was saying in chat, I think others agree, like this just gives off a really nostalgic feeling, and that feeling of joy, like you express that really well through all the colors and design choices you made here. So great job.
Thank you.
I love the differently abled representation that you have in here. I don't think I've judged a lot of these competitions, and I think this is the first time there's been someone in a wheelchair represented. And I think that that is a great addition.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Christopher. We're gonna move on to the next student, Cynthia.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cynthia Leon. Just started time quick. So I am a DVC student who's really passionate about designing for social impact, and my Inspire Oakland theme is Empowered Oakland Women. So a little bit of the idea behind my design is that I wanted to embody the spirit of an empowered woman, and hopefully it would be relatable to the various different kinds of women that Oakland has. If you could go to the next slide. So a little bit about my creative process is, so I started off with just a quick sketch of a more serious stoic face. I wanted there to be a very strong look to her. So I decided to keep it a little more simple in that she was just going to be looking straight at you. She's not making a different expression other than strong. And so I wanted to have lots of different blocks of color and different shapes to represent different things and what it means to be a woman, especially in Oakland. You have your hands in so many different communities, and you don't necessarily fit into just one box. You can fit into hundreds of different boxes, and you can have different bits and pieces of your personality. And so I wanted my graphic to really be relatable to multiple women too. And so there isn't really any skin colors. There's lots of different vibrant shades and colors. And so I wanted to also make sure that the hair was really inclusive, and I also went with a lot of different, I tried out a different bunch of different types of hair styles, and I ended up going with one big red hair that isn't too in the forefront, but also hopefully you can still feel like she could be you too. If you could go to the next slide. So this is the billboard design. I decided to go with really bright colors, but also if you look, especially on her left side, there are some like deeper shades, and I wanted there to be a balance in that she isn't necessarily all just beautiful colors. She can also be darker colors. She can also have a little bit of shadow to her. And so there's I think that I really wanted her to feel like she could be you, and she could be beautiful, but she doesn't necessarily just have to be beautiful. She can be so many different things and fit into different boxes and fit into shapes that aren't necessarily boxes. They can be organic shapes, and they could be special for her. So I wanted to also thank all of the people that helped me with the feedback. If you go to the next slide. So these are like the different formats I had. But again, I wanted to thank especially Professor Denning and Sean and Yudi and all the other students that helped me out in the labs, and to all of the people that came out to support everybody here and vote. Thank you.
I can speak up. Cynthia, first of all, this is awesome. It's one I'm going to be thinking about for a long time. I definitely think like my positive feedback for you here is I can see your design thinking in this kind of unusual way of thinking to translate to branding, to advertising, to technology. I can just see that you understand how to bring yourself to the table. So regardless of what the assignment was, like no one else would have thought to design this way. And I think that's really powerful. So just really cool work. It's awesome.
Cynthia, I think your passion and your sense of empowerment really comes across in this design, and also in your execution of the presentation, how you're talking about your idea and the meaning behind it. So well done.
Okay, thank you, Cynthia. We're gonna move on to our next student, Elisa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elisa Fain, and I'm currently pursuing my graphic design certificate at Chabot College. I had a BA degree in clothing and textile design and have worked in the apparel industry prior to having kids. I'm always looking for ways to expand my artistic skills, and I would like to extend my creativity into the graphic design field. The theme of my Inspire Oakland project is hustle and heart. Next slide, please. So during my research for this project, I found that there are approximately 5,000 nonprofit organizations in Oakland. My family and I are big supporters of nonprofits, and since I'm also a mom of 2 active boys, I decided to feature a youth program for this project. So on the left-hand side are my initial sketches of various youth-related themes. In the middle are just some photos of my inspirations. And on the right-hand side are various renditions I have made for this project. And, thanks to the great advices and recommendations from Sean, Yudi, my instructor, Tim Jonas, my classmate, and the peers at the Bridgegood Open Labs, I was able to make improvements and settle on my final design. Next slide, please. So here is my billboard design. The organization I'm featuring for this project is the Oakland Rebels AAU Basketball Club. Oakland Rebels was founded in 1987 to help youth in Oakland develop both academic and social skills, as well as providing them a safe environment to play. One of the main goals for Oakland Rebels is channel the energies and talents of youth into constructive and challenging activity. So I chose the title Hustle and Heart, not only to represent kids hustling and playing their heart out on the court, but also as a tribute to all the nonprofit organization founders and volunteers who have put in countless number of hours and effort into making Oakland a better place. And lastly, I want to use this opportunity to spread the message to everyone that When you work your hardest and you're passionate about the work that you do, you will stand out in the crowd. Next slide, please. Okay, so here are my designs for social media, bus bench, and LED. You may notice that each one is slightly different in terms of the compositions and the arrangement of elements. And that is because the format of these platforms are all different. So I adjusted my designs to best suit each platform. And this concludes my presentation. And thanks, everyone.
I thought this was great. I played for the Rebels growing up, so it was great seeing that representation. I thought you did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm loving the details, just like the texture and the typography and the mix of textures and the skyline and the ground. Yeah, very nicely done. The visual hierarchy is really great.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. Now we'll go to our next student, Gail.
Hi everyone, my name is Gail. I'm a student from Chabot College, and I'm an aspiring graphic designer and illustrator. I've only been here in the Bay Area for 2 years, but with my connection to Oakland, it's mostly with the people. I've never been to Oakland personally, and my theme for my art is graffiti arts never die. So next slide, please. For my creative process, I usually come up with the first thing that I remember something about Oakland through the word of mouth of my friends. But from some of them are Oakland natives, some of them always go to Oakland, and I remembered few people that really stuck with me. This guy was a rapper in Oakland. I was like, whoa, this guy's a rapper. And I also remembered one of the other guys. He was an artist. He does the murals for Oakland, and he was with the group Illuminaries. And I decided to sketch out individual with, but then when Tim asked me during the critique, like, is this really what I want? And he told me, like, why don't you mesh both ideas of the graffiti and the rapper, because that's how you're gonna inspire people. And I was like, yeah, that's how I really want to inspire the people of Oakland through the music and arts, because it really reminds me so much of my home. And I really want like the younger people to be inspired to continue doing the arts, because art is always being looked down upon, especially in the Asian household. They always tell you to do regular jobs. So in the next slide, please. I have meshed both art of the graffiti and the rappers, and this time I also added elements of Oakland itself, the Bay Bridge, and the people there. I also, for the background, I really tried to make sure like it's like the graffiti feel of it, because in Oakland there's no fresh wall there. And for the next slide, please. Here are different variations of it, and as for this, I would like to thank everyone that are listening right now. I also like to thank my family and friends and everyone who's been here with me, and also my instructors. I'm really nervous right now, and yeah, that's about it. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
I think you really nailed the graffiti theme to it, but I really like also how the colors, the red, the blue, and the black sweatshirt kind of pop out there too. So I thought that was awesome.
I was particularly impressed, as you were telling your story about not necessarily coming from here, never having been to Oakland. You always kind of get nervous when someone says it, you're like, okay, what's this going to be? But you had such like a powerful way of, if I look at this looks like Oakland, this looks like so many similar communities. So I thought you did a great job of seeking to understand a community that's not your own and really representing it. It's awesome.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna go on to our next student, Gina.
Hi, my name is Gina. I'm currently studying graphic design at Diablo Valley College. A little bit about me, I'm very connected with nature. I've always been inspired by nature, so I tend to mix my own illustrations with my designs, and it's definitely influenced with animals and nature for sure. So my theme is celebration of murals. Next slide, please. So this is a little bit of my creative process. I sketched out a lot of different ideas because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to put in my mural, but I knew that I wanted to do kind of a building perspective of a mural because there's everywhere in Oakland. So that was just the first thing I thought of when I was presented with this. Just the murals in Oakland. So I was figuring out what to do. And then there's a couple of my illustrations that I did that I incorporated in my design that you'll see in my full billboard. So this was my final design for my billboard. My first thought, like I said, was the murals and how they just tell the stories of Oakland. The murals are constantly changing, but they're always representing current events, and they all share so many different stories from various cultures and identities. So what I've done in my design is created a sort of collage of murals from what I've seen to make one of my own stories of Oakland, kind of. So from its history of Black Panthers to the famous cranes in the port, and there's a migratory bird that comes to Lake Merritt. I'm representing our rainbow community that only continues to grow, and a traditional Chinese dragon, as well as the crosswalks representing Chinatown, and of course some California poppies that grow wildly throughout the murals and the city. And all these elements are under a beautiful oak tree, as well as the people who are painting this whole picture for you. Next slide, please. And yeah, so there are my other formats for the social media flyer, the bus bench, and the LED display. And thank you so much, Bridgegood, and all my friends and teachers who have supported me so far. This was my first design competition, so I was really nervous.
Okay, any comments or questions from the judges or instructors?
I personally really love that there are people painting the mural, you know, and I think the items and the symbolism are really powerful, but I think just seeing the act and the motion and the intention of people kind of putting on the wall what inspires them is in and of itself pretty cool. So thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Gina. Before we continue, we just want to remind everybody that we are accepting donations. These donations will only help us place these top 6 winners from tonight on billboards. So keep in mind, you can donate at Venmo at Bridgegood. And also you can go on our website, bridgegood.org/donate. And now we go with our next student, Juan.
Hello, everyone. My name is Guan and also go by Kason. I transferred to UC Davis from Chabot College last fall and now majoring in design. And my career path is to become a UX designer. And the city of Oakland had been a huge part of my childhood life. As a kid, I lived in Alameda, which was very close to Oakland. My mom used to work at Oakland, and I used to take the bus to Oakland every day for after-school program. And even after we moved to San Leandro, which is where I live right now, we will still go back to Oakland for grocery shopping. So Oakland definitely have been a huge part of my life. And my Inspire Oakland theme is called Stop Asian Hate. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. And for my creative process, I originally started with a whole different idea in mind. And I even started a sketch, but then I keep hearing news about the recent anti-Asian attack and hate. So I decided to change my topic to Stop Asian Hate. I started with some sketches and I went to Chinatown myself and I took some picture of the graffiti, the mural, and I specifically included this 2 mural picture because this inspired the background pattern for my design, and that I'm going to show later. Next slide. Next slide. So the whole idea is based on Asian hate, like I mentioned before. And as I was in Oakland doing research, I discovered a program called Compassion in Oakland. And there are volunteers who step up as chaperone to walk with Asian American, especially the elderly group. And with this program, Asian elderly group will feel much safer in the community. So I want to include this element in my design. I also thought of the two Asian Hollywood celebrity, Daniel Wu and Daniel Day Kim, who've spoken up about this issue. So I incorporated them in my design as well. And I had them wearing the Compassion Oakland uniform, which is the safety jacket. I also included different ethnicity in the back to show diversity. Then I want my design to have a voice. So I included big bold text on signs with people holding it to spread the message. And since this year's the year of ox, I put an ox in an origami form in between the title Inspire Oakland. And I got that idea from the mural that I showed before it. And
Well, hey, Guan, sorry to jump in. Do you have your video by any chance? I think the judges would love to see you present.
oh, did I?
Yeah, your video's
Oh,
off.
I turned it
Okay.
off, my bad.
Yeah, I figured we all got dressed up. So, all right, good
Oh,
luck.
I didn't turn it off. Sorry. This is my Inspire Oakland project, and I reformatted the sign for each platform, so it's more readable. And lastly, I want to thank you, Bridgegood and Sean, to give me for good feedback for my design, and hope you guys like it.
Any comments or questions from the judges or instructors?
Yeah, I can make a comment. I put it in the chat. But yeah, I think it's really amazing that you as a designer stopped kind of, I don't know what your previous theme was, but you stopped what you were kind of working on and realized that there was a need for you to speak up. And I think that shift in your thinking is going to be really beneficial for you in your career. I thought that was great.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Case, and this is Cliff. If I can just also make a quick comment on this. I love the concept. It is very timing with what's happening today. So I really appreciate you focusing in this area with the Stop Asian Hate campaign, something that's very dear to my heart. So always happy, excited to hear this kind of work coming out. Very inspiring indeed. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next student, Quinn Thompson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gwen Thompson, and I'm a design student at Chabot College in Hayward, located on unceded Ohlone Chichenyo territory. I was born and raised in what is now Houston, Texas, and moved to the Bay Area in 2008 in search of creative opportunities, more diversity, and a place where I could feel free to be myself. What is most inspiring about Oakland, or the city of Oakland, is the deep sense of solidarity and how marginalized groups will take a stand for one another, working toward collective liberation, freedom, and justice. Oakland's rich history of protest and community building offers us a masterclass on social and political camaraderie, which still comes through in various aspects of the city. For me, when I think of feelings of solidarity, excuse me, I'm nervous. When I think of feelings of solidarity in our modern world, the first thing that comes to mind is Oakland Pride. When I attended Pride events in Oakland, I was immediately overcome and overjoyed by the diversity of individuals and an energy that's colorful, palpable, and exhilarating. Differences disappeared and each individual's humanity shined through. Next slide, please. My creative process involves first figuring out how to embody my theme into one recognizable image. I try to imagine what design elements are needed and a basic layout before I begin. As far as the technical aspect, I begin with quick sketches and then recreate them digitally on my iPad. And then I export them into Adobe Illustrator and redraw everything using a combination of paintbrush, pencil, and pen tools. I then work with color to try to bring everything to life and then finish it up with details and embellishments. Next slide, please. This design was inspired by an old photographs of Pride from my camera roll. And my technique is to replicate what I see, spin it, and remix it into my quirky style, which plays around with line elements. With intentional imperfections, I want the viewer to be endeared by each of my characters and to feel a connection to them by seeing aspects of themselves or those they may know. Each of my characters has a narrative and they embody their story in the moment that they're depicted. I do this by exaggerating their pose, movements, and facial expressions. In the end, I want the viewer to understand and to see my characters' humanity through their idiosyncrasies. I appreciate Bridgegood, and I want to thank Yudi and Sean for giving me this opportunity to share my work with you. I'm honored that my design is being represented with the other 21 designers sharing their work here today. I'd also like to thank my graphic design professor, Timothy Jonas, and my classmates for all of their encouragement and feedback. And lastly, but not least, to my wife, Tansy, for being my support system. Best of luck to us all. Thank you.
If I can jump in, Gwen, I just want to take a moment to appreciate how you told your story and tied it to your work. I'm very moved, and I just thought you spoke so well and so eloquently. So thank you. This is lovely.
Thank you, Elisa.
Gwen, first off, great job. Even presenting as well. I know it can be nervous to do that at times, but you did a great job. I think your philosophy of what you said earlier of intentional imperfections is very, very important to highlight, because it's human. It's a big part of who we are and how much you embraced it, especially in this piece. The color choice is another thing that's good, even going into the skies. So good job.
Thank you, Fernando.
Yeah, Gwen, I appreciate this. I love your style and the line elements that you have, and it's different across all three. I think the social media one just stands out. I mean, it's just really powerful as a visual element with just everything sort of working together. So amazing job on this. Great work.
Thank you, Mario.
Okay, good job. So now we're moving on to our next student, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Hey, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
All right. Hey, everyone, I'm Jason Quiles Jr., and I go to Diablo Valley College, and the career path I want to do is animation. So most of my life I've drawn, and I got those talents and drawing abilities from my mom and her family. My connection to Oakland was my mom used to be an apartment manager for different properties in Oakland, like on MacArthur and Fruitvale. And so I've seen a lot of rougher areas, and so my heart goes out to people who are hurting or don't have any hope in their lives. So I want to remind them that they have purpose, and I want to use my art to give hope and teach moral lessons through animation. So the theme I've decided to go with was hope for the broken in spirit. Next slide, please. So to begin this, I didn't know what I want to do. I knew I wanted to be have it be for hope, and so I wrote for inspiration and creativity. I wrote down the definitions just to give me some ideas on what's inspiring and creative. So something that is hopeful for me is church. So I decided to research churches in Oakland and kind of sketch them out, and then decided to put church in the ghetto just to show where it's rougher and not as like nice, but still have hope in the midst of suffering and people that are broken or hurting. And then next slide. So this is the bulletin design that I made. So this is what I did. So I had like I said, a church in the ghetto, and this homeless man I saw when I was in Oakland, and it seemed like nobody else saw him. And I often notice homeless people because when I used to work at Walmart, I used to push carts and speak to homeless people around the area. And I would just build relationships with them and I get to know them as people and pray for them if they need a prayer if I ask them or they ask me. So I added myself in this to show real experiences I have for praying for homeless people and just speaking with them and reaching out to them. I put doves to show hope, and then just how like the rougher area, but is in the background, but still have like a hopeful message in it. And next slide. So these are the other specs for the design. All right, so that that'd be it. Oh, and thank you for Bridgegood for allowing me this opportunity and having the open lab to give me feedback on what I should fix and change and add. Thank you for just this whole thing, how everything's put together, all the judges and students, everybody seeing everybody's artwork. Man, that's my alarm. All right, thank you.
Hey, any feedback, questions, maybe from the judges or instructors?
Hi, Jason. This is Juan, and I wondered about the telephone lines behind there. That's a major part of your design visually.
I think you've got so much going on in here, Jason, but it's not complicated to the eye. Your sense of visual organization is fantastic, and you've incorporated birds, the beautiful typography, people, and the city scene. Wonderful job.
I loved so much about this design, but one of the things that I thought was really kind of brave for you is that you brought something that people don't bring to the table, which is your religion and your beliefs. I thought that was a really beautiful and amazing thing to share with the viewer, and it makes us just feel, it's just so intimate. So I feel grateful that you shared that as part of your design.
Thank you.
I just want to jump in real quick and say that I love that this inspires engagement to take a look around us and to, reach out and help those we can. And oftentimes homeless people can feel very invisible, and it sheds light on it. So thanks for doing this design.
Okay, thank you. Now we're gonna move on to our next student, Jessica. Thank you, Jason.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Romick, and I'm currently studying at Chabot College for an AA in graphic design. My theme for the billboard is A Sky of Lanterns. Next slide, please. So my creative process starts out with a bunch of rough sketches. These help me think in multiple different directions without being too worried that I'm gonna end up forgetting things. Once I pick the direction I want to go, which this case was Chinatown, I start by collecting reference photos. And once I feel I have enough of those, I go into Illustrator and block out the main images, which things like the buildings, street, cars, etc. After I have everything blocked out how I want it, then I go over my canvas as a whole and fix the biggest parts that I see. I feel like when I go over the canvas as a whole, instead of focusing on tiny bits of it, I kind of calm my anxiety of, focusing on one spot and going, this isn't looking right. And I think it also helps my work flow together better. Next slide, please. For my design, I knew I wanted to focus on something that was fun and community centered even before I started sketching out ideas. And then with COVID, of course, I feel like we all need a break, even if it's just to look at something pretty for maybe a couple moments. With help from a lot of critique, I ended up choosing Chinatown, and looking back on it, I feel like it was a good decision. Just so I could follow the same direction that I wanted with the fun feeling of it. I thought about a bunch of prominent places, but again, Chinatown stuck out the most. And then in one of the later critiques, someone actually had suggested that I go and see it for myself. And when I told my boyfriend about this, he decided to take me on a date there. And we went to like a dim sum place and a bakery after that for dessert. And just both places seemed family run to me, and just the feel of community that I got from them in general was really strong. And even just walking down the streets of Chinatown, like the vibrancy of the little awnings and everything, I really felt the community of it. And the idea for the lanterns came from Oakland's, in Lake Merritt, they actually hold a Autumn Lights Festival. And I feel like the lanterns drifting off into the sky added that little spark of magic and fun that I really wanted to show with this design. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who helped me critique, from my classmates to Bridgegood to especially my boyfriend, because he's the one who had to come home every day from work with me asking, hey babe, what do you think about this? Does it look good? All that. Anyways, thank you for listening.
Okay, any comments, questions from the judges or instructors?
I was just gonna say, this is Ali. I love the little scene that you've created here, Jessica. Like, there's so much detail. There's so much to kind of discover, just as you kind of like look through it. Yeah, it really kind of invokes, like you said, a spirit of community, and peacefulness and joy. So, really appreciate the work. Good job.
Yeah, Jessica, this is Mario. I just I love the warmth behind all of this. Just the color choice, just that vibe that you create with that. So yeah, it's very soothing and warm. Nice work.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. So now we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break. For anybody that needs to use the restroom, you can do so now. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and just leave the gallery view for all of our audience in the Facebook page.
Hey, Yudi, what do you think about the design so far?
I'm nervous, I cannot be biased or have favorites. I do not allow myself to have favorites because I've seen their work and their journey. So I really hope that the judges can see as well how much effort they put into this.
Yeah, every year it's pretty amazing that we see them when they start. Some, and many said they never joined a design competition or design challenge, and this being their first. Mario, is this your second or third year as part of Inspire Oakland judging?
I think this is my second, definitely my second. I don't know if it's my second or third, but definitely my second.
You've seen designs. How are you feeling about this batch of designs this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of similar to last year, they just start speaking to the moment. And they're really inspired by just what's happening in the world and really capturing that. Yeah. And so I think it's awesome, that they can sort of turn what's happening into the world in a way that they can, speak to it and in a hopeful way. So yeah, just kind of the theme from last year into this year. But
a lot of that stuff. A lot of the fundraising that you led with Resilience is allowing us to host this opportunity. So thank you. And by the way, I did receive a few donations for Bridgegood. Lisa, thank you for the $50 to bridgegood.org/donate. Why do you continue to give to Bridgegood, both as a board member with the thought leadership, as well as a volunteer with our programs?
Because I think Bridgegood is one of the most important nonprofits in the Bay Area, and Bridgegood just lives in my heart. And I'm just so happy to be here today. I just feel so inspired by the beauty and the purpose and the power of all of you designers. I'm just floored by it. So bravo to everyone.
Hey, Sean, I heard you saying that you played ball. You're from Oakland, born and raised. What do you think about this cohort of designs?
It's exciting to see. I was here last year doing the judging. I didn't know what to expect this year, but coming up with zero expectations, didn't want to compare it to last year. I'm already very excited. Only halfway through, I already have so many so many favorites. So I'm excited to see the second half and have an even more difficult time choosing this year.
Man, 3 votes out of 22 designs is going to be tough. Yasmin, thank you, Sean. Yasmin, so you're definitely a Bridgegood champion, from the programming to fundraising to actually just being there as a friend too. So what do you think about these designs? How are you feeling about this cohort? Yeah, you Yasmin.
I'm amazed. It's like I'm looking at these and I think I'm processing some of them like 10 minutes after they've popped up on the screen. And I think that's really powerful. And I feel like that says a lot about the kinds of thoughts and perspectives that are coming into the room. And that's amazing for me because I'm just, growing up in the Bay, it's nice to know that different iterations of how it's portrayed are still happening. And so I love that. And I'm glad to be here. So thank you.
Of course, of course. Juan, you were saying that you do all types of things at Kaiser Permanente. I think this is your first year judging, right? What do you think? This is your first experience.
I think it's an amazing experience, and I say a lot of detail put into these items, and it gets a lot of like environment, lots of environment in there. I think it's wonderful. I'm having a really good time, actually.
Cool. And Cliff, is this your first time as well?
It is my first time as well, and to be honest, I'm actually a Bay Area native, born and raised, lived in Oakland for a number of years, moved out to Seattle a couple years ago, and I am missing Oakland a lot. And just the amount of inspiration in these designs, it's making me miss home a lot. So really excited to be here, and really just kudos to everyone who is here, especially to all the students who are participating in this. Amazing work. It's going to be hard to really judge all these, and I can't wait for the second half to go. So really happy to be here.
And Yudi, thank you for being here, Cliff. Yudi, keep me on time, by the way. One last person, Tiffany, you fundraised for Bridgegood. You believe in our mission of design for social good. Why do you continue to stay involved with Bridgegood, and you got Cisco Foundation involved as well?
Yeah, I just stumbled upon it actually on Twitter, and just it resonated with me. I'm a local Bay Area, grew up in the South Bay, but I lived in San Francisco for quite a bit, and I just think you have a fantastic mission, and anything that we can do to support the students, the program, I'm all for it. Amazing work so far, and I can't even choose like the top 3 yet, because there's so many still to go. But yeah, amazing work all around from all the students.
Great, thank you all so much.
Okay, so thank you everybody for rejoining us. We're gonna continue with the student presentation. Again, students will be presenting for 3 minutes. Judges and instructors are welcome to give feedback or ask any questions that they might have about the design. So let's continue. We have 11 more to go. Jimmy, you're up next.
Hey everyone, I'm Jimmy. I graduated from College of San Mateo this year. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator in San Francisco, and a lot of my artwork is inspired by 90s nostalgia, video games, and art history. My Inspire Oakland theme is Stop Asian Hate. Next slide, please. So my design was inspired by a Stop Asian Hate rally that I went to at Madison Park in Oakland. There was a lot of like young and old people there speaking up against hate, and there was a speaker. Her name was Jen Lee. She's the one on the left with the megaphone. She was there helping like elder grandparents and seniors translate their stories from Chinese to English. And I really related to that because I have a mom and grandma that I worry about every time they go out. So what she was doing was, giving them a platform to kind of speak about their experiences, and it kind of resonated with me. And I really wanted to highlight that moment, like my point of view from what I saw. And these are the pictures that I took there. I just sketched out kind of like my point of view, and then I refined it in Illustrator. Next slide, please. So my character illustration is based on her with the blue hair, and she was wearing a denim jacket. So, with patches. So I want to capture that style. And there was also a lot of protesters. You can see in the back with their fist up and signs up. I wanted to include that. And then behind that is a cityscape of Oakland. I wanted to include that to kind of keep it city-centric and make it cohesive. The type is custom typography. I wanted it to be unique to this challenge. And the orange and yellow is inspired by the Warriors, their color palette. I wanted something like big and bold, like super like legible from like 20 feet away. And then underneath is Stop Asian Hate, the message. I kind of wanted to, use this platform to kind of like raise awareness, so when people see it, they could kind of like see the message of anti-hate. Next slide, please. And these are just a different variation for social media, Bunch Bench, and the LED. I want to thank Sean and Yudi for giving me feedback and showing up every week and just providing us with open labs. It was like a great resource for me. I was like freelancing at the time, and I also want to thank my peers for giving critique and helping us along the way. And thank you guys for being here and listening.
Okay, judges or instructors, any feedback, questions, or comments?
I just love that you created your own type for this. Makes it like super unique and special. And I was saying in the chat that I really like the composition. And just, yeah, the personality of your style is really cool. So I think it'd look really cool on a billboard.
Hey, Jimmy, thanks for sharing your process in creating this. The thing that stood out to me was you have this Asian woman and she's looking upward and she has her mouth open. And I think that is something that I don't see very often when it comes to seeing strength in Asian women on screen. So thank you for portraying it in that way. And I love the way you took up space here in all of these graphics. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jimmy. Now we move on to our next student, Lonnie.
Hi, my name's Lonnie. I'm a graphic designer and fine artist. I do BFA pictorial at San Jose University, and I'm here today to prove myself. I'm here today to make a contribution to my local community, to the city of Oakland, and to champion the power of art and the artists who make it. And my theme today is murals, beautification, and community pride. Next slide, please. So, when I was doing my research, I thought the murals of Oakland were so beautiful, and there's just so many to pick from and choose from. So it was really hard to narrow it down. So I eventually picked the Oakland Superheroes and Dragon School. They're now known as 33053. But I love the story behind the organizations. I love the artwork. It was great. And I think from a strategic point of view, they had really strong visual symbols that I could use in my billboard design. So in my sketches, I actually had a really hard time coming up with a composition that I wanted to include so much like artists, buildings, Oakland, and murals in it, and the headline Inspire Oakland. I had such a hard time like coming up with a composition. I wanted to give up, but like my friends and family kept telling me to keep going, so I did, and I finally came up with something that I really liked. So I was able to like include everything I wanted. And then towards the right hand sketch is Dragon Girl. She represents a hero of a mashup of the two groups. And then her name's Dragon Girl. And then she fights crime and keeps the peace of Oakland. And yeah, she kicks ass. All right, next slide, please. All right, so what we got here, we got a top-down vantage point view. It's a top-down perspective, a bit of fisheye to make it really intense and very dramatic and kind of comic booky feel. So towards the left, we got two characters that are representative of the mural groups, the Oakland Superheroes and Dragon School. And I wanted to use them as symbols for the artists of Oakland who make art and empower the community. Yeah, and then so we have some buildings here. We have the Oakland Town Hall, and then I included like a big reference to the Marriott Hotel, which had a really cool new mural on it called Zero Hunger. I really liked it. The art's awesome. And so I tried to incorporate as much art from the mural groups as possible. I included little bits from the Oakland Superheroes. I looked at the research at their work. And here you got the gold dragons from Chinatown from Dragon School. And they kind of represent like the gold. I wanted the gold to symbolize vitality, energy, like freedom, and artistic spirit, and like the power of the community. And we got the middle character, Dragon Girl, fist bumping, or like punching crime, whatever, how you want to interpret it. And yeah, so I really want this strong, like comic book feel to it, kind of like very energizing and dynamic and strong. And yeah, and then next slide, please. Thank you. And so here we just have different mock-ups of the different dimensions for the social media, the bus bench, the LED display. And yeah, I think that's it. And then I would like to thank my family and friends for encouraging me, even though I wanted to give up. And I thank the people at Bridgegood, Yudi and Sean, for providing this event and being here and supporting us. And yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Lonnie, I love the comic vibe to your design. It's just so beautiful, has so much rich details, and I just even love the story behind it. You know, your pencil sketches were amazing.
Okay, so thank you, Lani. We move on to our next student, Laurie Marie.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Laurie, or Laurie, and I'm originally from Panama. I studied art in San Jose State, and I've dabbled in multiple art mediums like oiled and pastels. But my personal favorites are digital art, printmaking, and watercolors. And I always loved all types of design, especially when it's mixed with an illustrative, experimental look. So I enrolled to college in Mateo to learn more about graphic design, layouts, and any other skills that I could add to my creative toolbox. So my Inspire Oakland theme is Regrow, Reconnect. And next slide, please. So when the Inspire Oakland contest opened, I knew that I wanted to create an inviting piece that anybody could relate to in Oakland and that would represent my style. In my personal work, I like to focus on everyday moments of inspiration and appreciation. I draw a lot of nature, usually very texture with humans, especially women, interacting with it. But for this project specifically, I know I wanted to keep it simple, clean, and I don't know if you can play that video, but if not, it's okay. So next slide. Thank you. I became inspired by the Virella Tropical Garden at the Gardens by Lake Merritt. And this illustration is my take on some of the plants on display. Also, I referred to the coast live oak leaf since it's such an iconic image of Oakland, the tree. And once I gathered my references, I sketched it on pen and paper. Then I did my line work on iPad and I did my final touches on Illustrator. Next slide. And so similar to my own personal illustrations, I wanted to focus on the growth and potential of Oakland. And I don't mean the growth of the city, but the improvement of the daily lives of its residents. In other words, their inner landscape. The plants can take on many metaphors, such as growth and growing as a person, but the way it's meant is as a way of connection to oneself and to the community around us. Plants are resilient, and above anything else, they are adaptable, much like Oakland. So thank everyone for being here.
I was just gonna say, I love the vibe of this. Like right away, you get the feeling of growth. It's simple, but it's very just pleasing, and it feels personal and real and authentic. So, great job.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Laurie. And now we move on to our next student, Luis.
Hi, my name is Luis Ramirez. I currently attend Contra Costa College, and my career path, I want to be a graphic designer. I was born in Oakland and raised in Richmond. Oakland has always been a part of my life from my kids, being born from the town to working and enjoying all the diverse cultures in Oakland. And my theme has to do with power and culture, including Mr. Fab. These are some of my creative process on sketches. They're all hand drawn. I wanted to keep it a little bit original with the Inspire Oakland theme of the graffiti and murals and music, power, and the culture in Oakland. Next slide, please. So this is my billboard design. When I'm asked what about Oakland inspires me, I think of the culture and talent in Oakland. One person in particular who comes to my mind is Stanley Cox, best known as Mr. Fab. He's an American rapper, producer, entrepreneur, and activist. Mr. Fab owns a business called Dope Bearer on the corner of Broadway and 19th Street in Oakland. He is well recognized by his city for always giving back to his community by hosting and organizing annual Thanksgiving turkey giveaways, school supply drives, toy events, and charitable events that benefit cancer and domestic violence. I wanted to show on my design Mr. Fab and his box Chevy, aka Scraper, outside his shop with my design representing power and culture, also including the Bay Bridge and the Black Panthers. My reason behind the Black Panther is its meaning within Mr. Fab's music that comes with a political message, even though it's a party music. The city of Oakland is known for many amazing landmarks, but for me, being born in Oakland and raised in Richmond, Mr. Fab has been a great inspiration. Knowing his background and tough childhood, despite all odds, he has managed to become a historical rapper and inspiration from Oakland. And I wanted to take a second to thank my school professor, Mr. Reese, Yudi and Sean from Bridgegood for the feedback and help with this project, and also my wife for the feedback and support throughout this project.
Hey, Luis, this is Fernando. Hey, man, you killed it on this one. Good job. The social media post format that you even set up too is really nice, man. The composition overall and everything. So good job.
Thanks.
Luis,
Hey, Luis.
it's Elise. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry.
Now go for it,
I
Luis.
was just gonna say, like, please get this into Dope Era. Oh my goodness, I could see this totally being inside the shop. You did an amazing job. Super proud.
Thank you.
Hey, Luis, I just wanted to say, like, thanks for not giving up, because I remember we went to your class and you were like the only one that tried this, and you tried so hard and you made it to the top 22. And, you know, we know how hard you worked. So good work, man. Like, congrats, for real.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sean. Appreciate it.
Please, I really love just like how unapologetic this whole thing is. It's just like, it's so indicative of something you obviously care about. It's so indicative of a very specific kind of culture. You didn't code switch it or water it down. I just think that's very, very cool and super brave. I love it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Luis. So now we'll go with our next student, Mario.
So hi, my name is Mario, and I'm a student at UC Davis studying design and wildlife biology. And so I'm a first generation student from South Central LA, and probably for my future career, want to be like a biologist and also like graphic designer, illustrator, and like using my design skills for like science education and communication. Next slide. Okay, so my design was inspired by Lake Merritt. And when doing research, I found out that the lake is actually the oldest designated like wildlife refuge in the US. And I wanted to highlight the diversity in wildlife species that call it their home. And I used some of my photographs highlighted in orange on the right as inspiration for like the general composition of the design. And I included a couple of the native bird species that reside within the refuge/park and designed it to highlight the role of green space in urban environments and how the people in Oakland coexist with so many different animal species. I ultimately wanted to increase awareness of wildlife areas, parks, refuges, and the important role they play for communities and education, and how they also serve as a place for people to visit and de-stress. And the other element in my design was inspired by the dome structure in Lakeside Park near Lake Merritt, which you can see in the picture in the center. And next slide. So the dome was actually the first dome to be installed in the States and was used to house injured wildlife before release. The dome was built by UC Berkeley architecture students as a way to practice their skills for real world application. And I found that really interesting and like drew parallels with like this Inspire Oakland program and how it also allows students to like practice their skills for real world applications. And this dome structure became popular to build in the 1960s to 70s for their strength and durability, and also symbolized a sort of counterculture during that time. I have a personal connection with dome structures myself, because at UC Davis, I've helped plan like an annual music and art festival called the Whole Earth Festival, where we usually build a dome as a community with students and volunteers, and then the dome serves as headquarters for the event. So I was drawn to the structure in Lakeside Park because of that connection, and sense of community, and wanted to include it to frame the title in the final composition and landscape. And overall, learning how the dome was used to house local wildlife shows the interconnectedness of human engagement through art, a community engagement through art, and how art can be used as a means for environmental education and wildlife protection. And I want to thank Sean and Yudi for their feedback on the design, because I really didn't really have like anyone that I was getting feedback from. I kind of just created the design when I was doing research on what was like most popular in Oakland, because I haven't really been there that often myself.
Okay, any comments, feedback, or questions for Mario?
My only feedback here is, seeing something like this, I would almost want like a QR code or something where I could like figure out more. Like, I feel like this is such an educational experience that I would really want to be able to take this to social and just figure out exactly what's going on. But I just love that initially when you see it, you already are aware that there's a big picture story that you should be learning more about. You just don't necessarily know what it is. It's really beautiful work.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mario. So now we'll move on to our next student, Gracie.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? My name is Gracie Ramirez. I'm from Mexico. I moved here 11 years ago to pursue my dreams. I've always loved art and often find myself inspired by other artists. A year ago, I decided to go back to school to continue my education. I wanted to do something I love and set a good example for my children. I got into graphic design because I started doing a lot of the visuals for my church, and I really enjoyed it. My husband was actually the one who gave me the basic tools to use Photoshop. And Oakland has been an important part of my life. When I moved here, I went to Laney College, and part of my commute was seeing Oakland on a weekly basis. I also love going to museums, farmers market, as well as First Friday Oakland. And my mother-in-law has a store near Fruitville, and she sells Hispanic typical clothing, and I help her sometimes. The Dreamer Boy is the theme of my art, and I wanted to do this inspired by my brother who lives in Oakland, who works for his community and follows his dream. Speaking through art and music, I want to show that Oakland is all about the talent and the community, where everyone has a place and a home. As immigrants, we have limited space to shine, or so we are told, but actually I think Oakland is a place where a lot of people like me, my brother, and my mother-in-law are encouraged to fight for our dreams. So I grabbed pictures from the First Friday to show the diversity of people, happiness, creativity, and show the power of unity. This picture is actually, I'm sorry, I'm getting so sentimental. This picture is actually from Black Solidarity Market in Lake Merritt. And I started incorporating darker colors at first for my digital draft, but decided to make this artwork more vibrant. So I changed the color palette to lighter colors, and I wanted to add a saxophone player, so we can go to the next slide, which is also on the picture, because in the photo, he looks like he's having a wonderful time at First Friday Oakland. I also added vibrant colors coming out from the sax to show how much fun he's having. I believe that making this artwork, I am honoring musicians who are shining in Oakland, and they are inspired by people, real people in the community, to follow their dreams and spread love. This piece is made out of passion, the same passion that drives real people in Oakland to shine and unite. I want to thank my husband, who's always supporting me, my brothers, my sister, my mom, my friends, my family in Christ watching right now. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm getting so sentimental. I just had a baby. She's like a month old, and my hormones are crazy. My teacher team and Sean and Judy, I'm thankful to be considered for this project. I'm a beautiful artist, and make this, this is a dream come true to me. It tells me as an artist that my work is seen, and that even though I doubt myself sometimes, I can keep going and improving. Same to you all up there, doubting yourself. As Sean and Judy will put it, stay humble, stay inspired, and keep growing. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, I almost cried.
I think everybody's crying right now, Gracie. Any feedback, comments, questions from the judges, instructors, or maybe even Sean? Anybody?
I'll just speak. I was crying myself. I think that you're a role model for so many people. You're using design for social good, and I mean that you are Bridgegood. I mean, you are what we represent. And I love the design. I mean, I just love the spirit that you bring. Thank you.
I'm in Grace's group. I enjoyed hearing you speak. I enjoy this design, and I also hope you don't feel need to apologize to us for having the passion that you do, because it's amazing and it's appreciated, especially when we think about designing for good. So thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Gracie. So now we're moving on to our next student, Robert.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Crockerham. I go to San Jose City College, and I love graphic design with a focus on illustrations. And so my background is in education. I've been in the classroom since 1998, and my connection to Oakland is my grandmother moved from Texas to Los Angeles, and then my mother moved from Los Angeles to San Jose and then to Oakland. And I've always felt like Oakland was a place where I belonged. Right, it was a place that was diverse. It was diverse in its music, in its activism, in its art. And so my theme is inspired through science, fun, and activism. Next slide, please. So these are a few ideas that I had. I have 3 daughters who also love on drawing with me. And when I told them about this project, they said you have to do the Chabot Space and Science Center. You just have to, Dad. It's like a favorite place, right? And so I took their lead, and I wanted to go with. I wanted to inspire people in Oakland, people who go through Oakland, with the idea that I don't think people associate Oakland with that often, and that's with the science, with the innovation. And so it was really built around that, right? But the next slide, please. So as I said, so I'm an educator. So when I first heard about this project, I initially thought about my kids. I thought about my daughters. I thought about what inspires them, right? And I thought about when I'm teaching a lesson, I try to connect everything together. And when I talk to my kids and I talk to them about math, or about science, or about language arts, I try to teach them that everything is connected. So with this artwork, I tried to have the colors of the Warriors, right, to show the fun part of Oakland. I tried to show the dirt in the background, where you can go hiking, and obviously, but the trees to spill out, inspire Oakland. It's amazing because with my daughters and I and my students, I go on field trips to the Chabot Science and Space Center, and they go into this space capsule. So this is that world famous space capsule. When they go inside, my daughters are always like, "Dad, let's go outside now to those trees, right? Let's go outside to the dirt." And so it's all connected, right? With the nature, with the science, and I really wanted to inspire those who look at it to be inspired, to be innovative in science and fun and in activism. So thank you all for considering me. Thank you to my professor, who when I said, "Hey, I don't want to redo this, like I'm too busy, like I have my daughters, I have my job," and she said, "No, Robert, you have to try," right? Just try, and the only thing that you can do is learn from it. And so thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to Bridgegood. I really do appreciate this opportunity.
Okay, any comments, feedback, or questions from the judges or the instructors?
I love how your daughters were like collaborators and an inspiration in this project. And it's so wonderful that it ties into the theme and that, you know, you connected with them to create this.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I also I put it in the chat, but I think yours takes a second, like, it's just so unique. I really loved this visual style. I don't know anyone who would have thought of representing this in this way. I just thought this was like a really unique and dope visual style to use. Very cool.
Okay, so thank you,
Thank you so much.
Robert. Thank you, everybody. So now we move on to our next student, Siran. You're up next.
Yes, hello everyone and congrats to all. My name is Simran and I'm enrolled at Chabot College. I'm studying graphic design currently, and art inspires me to be creative and innovative. Art is a part of who I am and what I often do. Most things I do are based on art. Two of my favorite hobbies, such as baking and cake decorating. And my Inspire Oakland theme is vibing in the Oakland streets. Next slide. So my inspo for this was Kalani the musician. For my creative process, what I did was I found an image online of Kalani singing and referenced off of it in Illustrator. And then I created a final vector piece, which took me several hours each day. So it took me a while, but here's the outcome. Next slide. So the setting of this bulletin is a representation of the North Oakland neighborhood, which Kalani grew up in. And she's singing her songs to the people of Oakland, and they're vibing out to her music. Let me change your life. If you want to be, you can be anything. I can make you right. Kalani's vibe is what makes Oakland vibe. The people at the bottom I created are the street dancers dancing to her music. She makes her struggle as a celebration. Kalani's sunflower tattoo represents loyalty, longevity, and happiness. The reason I made this theme at night is because the community comes alive around sunset. Next slide. Next slide, please. Here are the different versions of the social media flyer, bus bench, and LED display. This was a fun and interesting project that I can develop my skills in if I work more on them, and it definitely takes a lot of skill and time, and I really had a fun time doing this project, and I would love to do more future projects like this, and I would just like to thank Bridgegood for this rare opportunity, and it was an honor to be part of it and learn the creative process. Yes, thank you.
Okay, maybe one judge or instructor that would like to give any feedback, comments. If not, it's okay. We can move on to our next student. Thank you, Surand. Tanner.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to share myself with you all. My name is Tanner Simpson, and I am from Clovis Community College, and I wish to pursue film and screenwriting. So I am from the Central Valley of California, and I don't know if any of you know anything about the Central Valley, but we are primarily known for agriculture. And as an artist, writer, and aspiring filmmaker. I've always kind of felt like I don't really fit in where I'm from. But however, I've learned that no matter where I am in this world, I'm never going to stop creating. So without further ado, my Inspire Oakland theme is Oakland is Live. So when I first decided to take on this assignment, I was having trouble connecting with the city of Oakland because I've spent very little time there. But once I found the Fox Theater, I knew what I was going to do. I actually have a Fox Theater here in the Valley that I grew up going to, and that has always been a big influence on my life and my love for cinema. So once I found this, I decided that I was going to do the marquee. So as you can see, I have my reference photos on the left, which inspired my first post down there in the bottom left. And then as I started showing this to like friends and people who have been to Oakland, they knew like, that's the Fox Theater, I've been there. And I started asking them what it's like. And I actually found out that it's used mainly as a venue for live performers now, which I thought was amazing. And so I came up with my bottom right design, and I have featured here the performers, which ultimately led to my final design. I really wanted people to be excited about live performances coming back and movie theaters opening up. This entertainment is something that we all do together, and I want people to be jazzed about it. So Sean actually helped me create the hashtag Oakland is Live, and I want this to be interactive, and I want people to be excited that this is making a comeback. Next slide, please. So I have my social media header here, along with my bus bench and my LED display. Yeah, I'm excited about entertainment coming back, and I want everybody else to be too. I just wanted to give a thank you to Professor Janice Ledgerwood, who's here today, and also to Yudi and Sean. And then I wanted to say that for anybody out there who spends any amount of their day creating, thank you.
Okay, any final comments, feedback, questions from the judges or instructors?
I really liked this nod to things kind of opening back up again in all of these businesses that have been closed. Here in LA where I live, we lost the ArcLight Theater, which was like a huge loss for us. So I love the idea of just like, we think of these places as places that we've gone to see films or music, but we forget that they were at risk for so long. So I thought this is really, really cool. It's a great message.
And I love the social media one. That's really nice.
Tanner, I want to say I'm really proud of you. So
Thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you so much.
Tanner, thanks so much for taking the feedback well. You came back every week to our open labs and you made those improvements. So thank you so much. Wanted to quickly say thank you to Jimmy Lou, who's actually a student that just donated $50 through Venmo at Bridgegood. Also wanted to say thank you to Kevin Louie, who donated as well through Venmo at Bridgegood. And that's all. So just keep the donations coming. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, so now we move on to our next student. Thank you, Tanner. And the next student is Tiffany.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tiffany, and I'm a design major at UC Davis. I'm an aspiring graphic designer and art teacher. So a little bit more about me. I grew up in the city of San Jose, and I went to pharmacy school for about a year when I realized that it wasn't my true passion. And so when I came to terms with myself, I finally decided to pursue what was best for me. I love to draw and plan creative projects in my free time, and I'm a big fan of spicy foods and noodles. And so for the theme of this year's Inspire Oakland, I went with the question, what about Oakland inspires you? So as I was trying to find inspiration for my piece, one of my professors shared an article about an Oakland artist and educator named Keith Williams, also known as K-Dub, who worked together with his students to not just build a skate park, but a skating community. And their story really resonated with me because as a skateboarder myself, reading about how a community's love for skateboarding gave birth to a new skate park for everyone to enjoy was so inspiring, and I wanted to showcase that passion into my work. So during my creative process, I drafted several sketches of skaters in motion, as well as different graffiti fonts and styles, since graffiti art is prominent in both skate parks and Oakland. Next slide, please. I titled my work Skate for the Love of It because skateboarding is not about the competition or the fancy tricks. It's more about having fun and skating in the moment. And when I was deciding who would be at the forefront of my design, I decided that a Black skater was most appropriate because of the importance of the representation of Black youths in Oakland, as well as their contribution to the skating community. I also incorporated vibrant colors and paint-like textures to create a lively mood into my piece and to highlight an eye-catching graffiti art in Oakland. For the smaller details in my work, I wanted to feature other elements that are unique to the city aside from skateboarding, such as Chinatown, the bicycle plan, Oakland athletics, and the Black Lives Matter logo on the skateboard, since the Black Panthers was founded in Oakland. Next slide, please. And so these are how my artwork would look on other platforms. And skateboarding is different for everyone. We each have our own reason as to why we skate. For me, I learned what it meant to truly fall and pick yourself back up, as well as how to overcome that failure. And to answer the question that was my driving theme, the skate community in Oakland was what inspires me. And so in turn, I hope that my piece will inspire people to try skateboarding or even just visit a skate park, for example, Town Park in Oakland, and be able to experience what it means to skate. And thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much to Bridgegood and to the judges for having us.
Hi, Tiffany, this is Maha. I have to say, I love the way you've integrated the colors and the background and how you've used just all the imagery to create this supporting theme around the skateboard. And what's really stood out to me is how you're calling out Oakland under the skateboard, and it's showing how the skateboarder is like elevating to new heights. So it's really uplifting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany.
Hey, Yudi, real quick here. We want to say thank you to Mario Ruiz for the $100 donation, as well as Lisa Fulcino for $50 as well. All of the donations will go to purchase these billboards for the students. And thank you, Yudi, for doing and keeping us on time. We really appreciate you.
Okay, Yasmin, I believe you are our last student.
Hello. Hi, my name is Yasmin Cornwell, and so I am currently attending Clovis Community College, and I aspire to be an illustrator and do concept design and doing character sketches. I decided to study underneath a BFA because of the passion I got from the arts in high school. I performed in theater, choir, marching band, a jazz band, and had been a dancer for over 8 years by the time I had graduated. All these experiences are what inspired me in creating my design for this competition and eventually led me to design theme of band loop, which is when dancers rappel down on cables and dance in the air. It's also known as vertical dancing or aerial dancing. Next slide, please. I chose this idea not only because of my theatrical and dance background, but also because I love how free the dancers appear while dancing in the air, and how the new form of dance shows the spirit of innovation and trying new things. I think goes perfectly with the spirit of Oakland. I've never actually been to Oakland before, but I did my best to research the city, from reading articles online to looking at lots and lots of pictures, to talking to people in my life who had visited the city, and even watching hour-long videos of walk through the city. And it was really fun to get the sense of the vibe of the city through those walkthrough videos. And I was really sad that during this project, during a pandemic, meant I couldn't go and see what the city was like in a normal year and a normal day. And after all my research, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about Oakland is the diversity of the people and the abundance of creativity and innovation that can be found in the city. In my design, I wanted to reflect the spirit of Bandaloop and the creative and vibrant colors in Oakland. And I wanted to include a landmark that was immediately recognizable as Oakland, California. My creative process included spending hours of research of the art form of Bandaloop, studying the type of poses that dancers would be in, and what makes a billboard successful. I took a lot of notes and like how compositions of like billboards made by other companies worked and why they were successful in that way. And I drew sketches and thumbnails by hand before I finally went onto my computer to do my final design. Next slide, please. I worked on my computer and I used my drawing tablet, and I started going to Illustrator and just kind of blocking things out. I used a lot of rectangles and geometrical shapes before I kind of made everything flowing and loose like the Bandaloop dancers are. And when I was in a critique with Sean and Yudi, they suggested that I change the font that I originally had. It was very blocky to something more loose and flowy. And I'm really glad it did. I think it really encapsulates that vibe a lot more than what I had originally had. Like I said earlier, Bandaloop is also known as vertical dancing. So I had a lot of design challenges with my theme since I was working in a very horizontal format. And it wasn't vertical, so getting all the dancers to fit and not be too clustered, overcrowded, too busy for the eye was definitely challenging, but I'm really proud of how it turned out. I include vibrant colors to portray the dancers having fun and being lively. I kept the city skyline in the background in order to give the viewer the feeling that they were flying or suspended in air as well as the sense of joy and freedom that comes from expressing oneself in dance or other ways, and the weightless feeling of Bandaloop. Thank you. Next slide.
Okay, anybody has any final, oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to say that you articulated your process so well, and like I feel like everyone in the audience was able to follow each of the design decisions that you made. Thinking about like the vertical height and the constraints around that, and just the beautiful execution. I really love all the colors and the composition. It's so alive. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I'm super proud of you, Yasmin. It's been quite a year.
Yeah, thank you.
I love how your original drawing actually readapted itself really nicely in the other three formats. I feel like I don't feel like there was any compromise at all. I just feel like it really embraced the new shape. And I also love how you redid the reflections on each and every one of them based on your arrangement of the people. So awesome attention to detail.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to compromise the the proportions of the people. And when I switched from each layout and the different sizing of the kind of canvas I was using, I was trying to make sure that everything fit and looked nicely and was presented nicely.
Okay, so thank you, Jasmine. And now I believe we have reached our judging session, and I know Sean would like to provide some words before we move the judges into the break room so that you can cast your votes. As a reminder for the judges, on the PDF that we share that's titled Instructions for Judges, you will find the Google Form link. That link will be open as soon as you get into the break rooms. So Sean?
I'm gonna repeat what Sean said from Twitter. This is tough. And also from Square, Ahmed, this is gonna be really tough. And I especially wanted to say thank you to those that are donating at bridgegood.org/donate, as well as Venmo at Bridgegood. Wandy, who's from Twitter, as well as a champion, $200. Thank you. Fernando, who's also a judge, $50 for all the love. Mama Ty, Jane Ty, always coming through. Mom, thank you. $200. She said, congratulations to all the students. And Jasmine Mora, $100. So, wow, keep them coming. And you just one quick word, under 30 seconds. Why is this important? You know, the donations. You're behind the scenes. Can you maybe share a few words?
I mean, I cannot say enough, but you know, the billboards, they cost a lot of money, and we are providing this opportunity for the students to display their work for free. So the students, I guarantee you, they're not paying a penny. So I'm seeing it behind the scenes real. So your donation is what's gonna make that billboard possible. And also the benches, right? I know we do have donors, but I know that half of that cost, Bridgegood is taking on that. Social media, it's free. Well, you're gonna see it there. It's gonna be everywhere. But that is why your donation is important.
Thank you, Yuri. Great. So we're gonna play some videos. It's gonna be fun. You get to learn more about Bridgegood while the judges convene and talk about the winners. So, or the potential winners. So we will be back. Thank you. Stay tuned. Don't leave.
Okay, so just making sure the judges, they all left. I see one judge coming in now. If you are a judge and you don't see the break room, please let me know. No judges in the room? If you're a judge and you need to go into the break room, please let me know using your audio.
Can you add me, Yuri, please? Please.
Okay. So you should see a pop-up on your screen right now. Okay, great. So for the rest of the time, I'm just gonna be playing some videos that we have here on our slides. The students or the instructors, if you want to take a break, feel free to do so. This video is gonna be playing while the instructors, the judges are casting their votes. So good luck to everybody and good job.
When I saw the YouTube videos from Bridgegood, I saw that it was a really great experience, and I knew I wanted to hop in. And I thought that, you know, I saw everyone crying in the videos, and I knew that, like, this is where I want to be. I want to have that experience too.
Hi, my name is Raymond Mateo. My name is Diego Munoz.
My name is Mary Beth Soriano.
My name is Brian Boland.
My name is Koke Olamoto.
My name is Sarah Solomon, and I'm a proud
Bridgegood UX Design
Apprentice.
So I'm a proud first-generation born Mexican-American, been living in South San Francisco all of my life. Growing up, I grew up with a Spanish-speaking family, so I first learned Spanish and then learned English. As I kept growing, you know, I feel like I was refining my skills more and more as an illustrator, which I guess would eventually lead me into graphic design as a whole.
I'm originally Sudanese. I was born and raised here in California. I lived in Saudi Arabia for a couple of years, but my parents recently moved back to LA. So I actually did the whole apprenticeship from LA. I wasn't actually here in the Bay Area.
I was born and raised in Oakland. My parents come from the Philippines, and they immigrated here in the 90s. I'm a first-generation Japanese American and first-generation college student. And I have like a biology degree, but I'm starting fresh in design.
I love to design, honestly. I love art. Ever since I was a little kid, I was drawing like since forever. I mean, I suck at drawing now, but like that was my passion, and that's kind of what started everything.
Diversity and inclusion was one of the main strengths about Bridgegood and this apprenticeship. We had people from all different backgrounds, all different like ethnicities, cultural backgrounds, economic backgrounds, and I think that's I would say one of the main strengths of Bridgegood. They're located in Oakland, in the Bay Area, where they're surrounded by people of color, people of different cultures. And so it's really important to embody that into our community because that's what Oakland is all about.
Bridget's focus on like diversity and inclusion is really important, especially since the design field doesn't really focus on that specifically. Bridgegood caters to like and helps minority groups, and I know from experience, like in my classes, that's not the case. Like they don't look at minority struggles and they don't really try to elevate their voices in a way, but Bridgegood does do that, and it was amazing to see that.
So as a Latino in tech, I find it important to be able to include more diversity into that world of tech and to be able to also sort of tell my stories as well as other Latino, Latinx stories.
Inspire Oakland is a billboard competition that's open to students from around Northern California, and it's all about what about Oakland inspires you. So bringing your own like unique voice and perspective into what is inspiring about Oakland.
For my Inspire Oakland design, I decided to focus more on the music of Oakland, specifically got down into the music artists since I thought it would be great to be able to focus on these music artists that are Bay Area natives. So I titled it Oakland Sound, as I felt these different artists come sort of in a way make up this unique sound from Oakland.
My experience with the Inspire Oakland competition was a huge growth opportunity. Initially, when I entered, I knew that it was open to people from all over Northern California. I definitely had no ideas of winning, but I thought this is a great opportunity to get like real life experience because you have to put it to the right dimensions, the right color mode. So I thought, okay, I'm going to challenge myself and do this, and went through the whole creative process of sketching and iterating until you get to the final design.
Oh gosh, the first weeks of Bridgegood, they were overwhelming. Like I was excited at the same time, really nervous, and I was like, oh my God, there's so many other amazing designers, and people would come in and like show their work during critique, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so beautiful, this is amazing. So I think it was nerve-wracking. And at the same time, it sort of pushed me to do more and to work more because I was just like, okay, I sort of need to be on that level too.
I applied for the UX Design Apprenticeship because I thought it was an excellent way to be able to expand my design skills. I've never even touched UX design before this. I honestly didn't really know exactly what it was, so I researched it a bit. I thought it would be great to be able to just expand my design skills.
Such a welcoming, warm presence, and everyone was so excited. It's definitely like different than anything I've ever experienced because everyone was just so excited and there was such good energy.
If I were to explain it to my mom, just like straight up, I would say Bridgegood is helping me with my career. Design is important because I've come to realize that it's a part of everything we do. Like my main way of thinking about design is that it's essentially problem solving. And the reason I eventually wanted to become a designer is because there wasn't any aspect of my life that I wasn't applying design already. UX is user experience. It's the way that you navigate throughout either a website, an app, maybe even through a menu. And it's just a structure that leads you to where you need to be.
I want to continue helping people like my parents, people who have where English is their second language, navigate through websites a lot more easier. And I want to make sure that something like that happens in the future. I want to design something that's meaningful, not something that is trendy, also usable and accessible to a lot of people. And it helped me realize what kind of design I want to do and what kind of design I don't want to do.
I feel like I definitely have a clear idea of like how to be, how to follow like the double diamond method and how to be really divergent and really not let yourself be boxed in at first, but then also how to like, as a team, come to these decisions, figure out your problem, and then eventually figure out your solution. I think I'm really grateful for Bridgegood for giving me that entire process multiple times throughout the apprenticeship. It wasn't just like once, but I feel like I've gotten good exposure to how to think like a designer, how to follow that process.
So we got a lot of mentorship from different companies throughout the apprenticeship, from Salesforce, Slack, Etsy, Square. We had US Bank, we had DeepScribe, and even people from Adobe. So it was really great to be able to get mentorship from these people that actually work at these companies.
One of my favorite companies that I learned a lot from was Beyond. They came in early on in the apprenticeship to give us mentorship and guidance.
Yeah, the company I liked working with the best was Salesforce, just because they put in so much effort and so much time into teaching us. And then it was just a really great experience overall, just because of all the things they've introduced to us and how much I learned from them.
What I'm going to miss about the Bridgegood experience is everything. I feel like this was such a one-of-a-kind experience that I'll never get to have again, and it's so different from anything else.
I'm honestly gonna miss hearing you guys' voices, just because, like, when I hear your guys' voices, it's like, oh, it's go time. We're gonna do this.
It was really great to be able to just like know these other people that are in the same shoes as me, more or less. I'm gonna miss just sharing these moments with all the other apprentices.
The main things that I'm gonna miss is you guys, like Yuri, Sean, everyone in the apprenticeship. I'm gonna miss that sense of community. I'm gonna miss the critique and everything, the feedback I get.
I think like 5 years down the line, looking back, I am just going to look back with such fondness. I'm going to miss so much about this apprenticeship. It was such a community. I just remember the first time interviewing with Beauty and saying, what does community mean to you? And I just feel like Bridgegood, like at the end, I can answer it now, because Bridgegood is the shining example of a community and what it should be like.
When they explained what is the program, for the first time I thought that, okay, I'm understanding it wrong. This is too good to be true. How can it be possible? So we can get all this education and make connections with the big tech companies, which was my dream. And then they said it's free. I said, no way. I couldn't believe that.
My name is Afia Sefa.
My name is Juan Louis.
My name is Kyle Pere.
My name is Lucid.
My name is Maria Ostapchuk.
Hi, my name is Gaspar Mendoza, and I'm a proud
Bridgegood UX Design
Apprentice.
So I'm originally from Ukraine. I came to the United States 4 years ago. I was working in marketing previously, but then I discovered UX design. I immediately fell in love.
When I came here to US, it was a lot of differences. My biggest challenge was the language.
I spent most of my life in Baton Rouge, so I consider myself a Louisianian, and now an Oaklander.
So I was born in Oaxaca, Mexico, in a small town called Santiago Pozo. It's around 100,000 people.
When I was little, I liked drawing, and when I graduated and I went to the college, I found I had passions for art.
I chose to apply for the Bridgegood apprenticeship because I was looking for new ways to grow as a designer, and being that I really like how Bridgegood is all about community and new beginnings, so I feel like that was fit perfectly into my lifestyle, as I really love being involved with the community.
Actually, it was my first time that I was working with the UX design, and I have never studied it before. So I would say that this program really revealed it for me, and I learned how to conduct design sprints, how to conduct presentations, how to speak with designers. So I would say that it not just changed, it just created like what design means for me, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity.
In my words, research is learning about something that you don't know, and research is a good way because you don't need to be scared of unknown. Unknown is not scary anymore when you know how to do research.
I think designs making the community is more beautiful, and it's like creating and make the city vibrant.
It's everyone has their unique sense and unique style, and seeing all those designs and unique perspectives out there in the world is very important to the culture and community.
Design is important because it's solving a problem, but it's not just solving a problem. It's trying to solve it in a way that can connect with your emotions, with your feelings.
We do sketches first, and then we do how might we asking questions, and then we roll for the best one. Then we come out with the low fidelity, and then transfer it to my fidelity.
If you're having a language barrier, you can illustrate your idea. You can educate people by using illustrations or any type of design. You can't really do that if you're trying to communicate or you're trying to have someone read. So you can take context and apply it to design and simplify that context for someone.
I would say the UX design apprenticeship is a walk in the park. I'm just kidding, it's not.
It's an opportunity where you can network with professionals. And at this point, you're not just networking, you're actually collaborating alongside of them, learning from them, and going further, possibly even working with them.
I have never met so many designers from different top tech companies before, and that was a really good experience.
Everything is new in the first week, and I try to feel comfortable.
Meeting all the other apprentices, I felt like I had a new squad, a new community. I just remember just really feeling like a new burst of life.
I really look forward to Tuesday at 12, just the clock again, seeing everyone's faces, saying good morning, and breaking into our groups and just going on our assignments.
Just seeing the energy and seeing how all the students still be excited to be there. That was just, at that point, I knew regardless of how this apprenticeship was going to be held, it's just going to be an amazing experience regardless.
This is my first time that I've worked with teams so closely, and I was never judged by anyone. Nobody never turned her back on me. Everyone around me had these amazing ideas, which is beautiful, but also intimidating, but also pushes you to bring your A game. I really enjoyed listening to Facebook Creative Department because they revealed a lot of other perspectives in this industry, not only UX design, but also photography, animation, videography, etc.
So out of all the companies that mentored us, I really enjoyed Slack's feedback and mentorship because during our developing a new phase, they really gave us a new perspective and very good feedback regarding our product and our details and our user flow, and just having their guidance and mentorship to go through the final phase was really helpful.
Company that made the most impact was Salesforce. Seeing their energy, the way they carried themselves, seeing their presentations, how it's so simple to understand, and making a complex problem and laying it out so simple, it's hard to do.
If I could give advice to someone who is new to design, I would say if you don't have the right mindset for being a designer, don't be scared and don't compare yourself with others. Give yourself time. And during the time, you will learn it.
Follow your passion. And if you're not sure if you want to go the route that you're currently going, definitely look into Bridgegood.
My advice to any new and up-and-coming designer watching this is really just take that first step, take that leap of faith into the opportunity presented to you, because you never know what you're going to learn. And to me, what I learned from this Bridgegood apprenticeship was very insightful and really helped me grow as a designer.
If you are part of the Bridgegood apprenticeship, you're doing something right at this point. And if you have doubt that your work is not as good as you think, most likely you're wrong.
What I'll miss most about Bridgegood is being in a space where everyone is growing and learning and open about growing and learning.
In Bridgegood, we are the family. We embrace everyone. I will still come and support this family, and I feel comfortable to stay here.
I'm gonna miss Sean and Uni just looking over us, making sure we're all good, being well, and just making sure we're on top of our game and being prepared.
How Bridgegood focuses on adversity. That was something that really attracted me and a lot of the students I talked to. It's important because when you first hear about it, it's an opportunity you think it's too good to be true. And seeing we as an organization talking about how inclusion is so important and not just talking about it, but definitely acting on it.
The thing I will miss the most in Bridgegood, it will be the support. The great support that I had in here, honestly, I couldn't find it somewhere else. And I was really surprised that how supportive is this group. And now that the apprenticeship is finished, I'm already miss it. I miss all that support. I miss all that energy. Yes, I'm gonna miss the support.
With all this love and support, you are feeling so powerful every day. You are feeling that you can create awesome projects even if you don't know anything about it. And I think that is the biggest advantage of this program, that you have this small community of so many different people with different backgrounds, cultures, perspectives, but they are all moving to the same goal. And it's always easier to go to your goal with somebody else by your side.
So I'm definitely gonna miss my teams. Everybody in the apprenticeship was amazing to work with. They've all opened me up to new cultures, new ideas on design. So I would say I'm definitely gonna miss overall the fun times we had when we were designing, and overall the motivation and inspiration that each apprentice had for when it came to our projects or designing something.
Hi, my name is Elmer Paul Dollywall. My name is Benjamin Raymondville.
My name is Caitlin Peng. My name is Suripat Viratmonpan. My name is Alza Fletcher Carrillo.
My name is Justin Ray Petrola, and I'm a proud Bridgegood
UX
design
apprentice.
Growing up, I never really embraced being Filipino or like really accepting my Asian identity. As I grew older, I realized that there's nothing I'm more proud of than being in my own skin. And like being Filipino, being Asian, and just being a designer of color.
I came from Thailand. Actually, I live in Bangkok City, and I was born in a Chinese family, which my dad is the first son of the family, so he has to work hard.
I come from India. I originally moved here with my family around 2008, so come from an immigrant background. I'm Punjabi, so I have a Sikh heritage, and then all of that combined just inspires me to be myself.
I am half African American, half Hispanic. My grandparents are from Mexico, so I speak Spanish, and as well as I practice speaking Spanish to my family and my friends as well.
Design is important because it's a way of communicating. It fits every aspect of our lives, I think, from our phones to our books to our just like banners out in the world. It's just an interesting way to communicate to other people and really learn other people's way of seeing things.
Design is important because it helps solve real life problems, and like it's people solving for people, which is one of the best things we can do, helping each other, working together.
Design is important because it's literally everywhere. It's like it communicates a message, and its message alone can send like waves. It allows us to inspire, and without inspiration, it's like we wouldn't have the motivation to do what we love to do.
This year, I participated in the Inspire Oakland Design Challenge. My theme was Oakland's Fortune. I participated this year because I thought it was a great opportunity to design and meet other creatives. I attended open labs. I got to meet a lot of new people, and it was amazing to see their design process and ideas and stories behind their themes too.
Overall, the whole process that was really fun. I got to go to some of the open labs, get really good feedback, and I was really, really shocked that I made it to the top 20. I was like, oh my God, I was there. I remember the day that I got the email, my family was around me. I was like, you guys, I got to the top 20. They're like, that's great. And then I ended up getting third place, and you know, for me, I didn't care if I got first, second, third, whatever. Just knowing that I took that step to do Inspire Oakland, and for me, that was a big achievement.
My Inspire Oakland incorporated a jeepney, and the jeepney is the main source of transportation. And everyone's always helping each other out in the Philippines. And just like here in Oakland, that's just the same vibe we get. Being able to add my flair into a Filipino design for Oakland would encourage other Filipino artists or designers or just any other designers of color to really embrace who they are and just go along for the ride. The Bridgegood UX Design Apprenticeship is a 3-month-long program that allows designers of colors and students of colors to understand the field of UX more, as well as be able to apply real-world skills in a weekly fashion.
So during the first week, I was definitely really excited to be among people who have a passion for design like me. I think that's what I was craving, was people who actually cared.
I decided to apply for the UX apprenticeship because I was ready to take on a meaningful project and prepare myself for work in the real world.
I don't know, just seeing you guys, they're so passionate about helping others and like helping people like me, just made me want to step up and motivated me to like, okay, I need to put my energy towards something that it's just such a great cause.
With Bridgegood, they really take the students' work seriously and like actually implement them onto their platform. And I think that's really it's really respectful, I think, of the apprentices that you have here, that you're not just, you know, giving them small assignments off to the side, you're actually, you know, using them as resources as well.
My skills have improved drastically over the 9 weeks of the apprenticeship because I've grown as a person, as a designer, and as like a collaborator.
I learned from this cohort that research is very important. So with no empathy or not listen to users' voices, your design mean nothing.
Something that I learned from this experience that I didn't know I can do before was doing user research. I think that was something that I was not a fan of, and learning different aspects of, like, you know, shadowing and surveys and just doing interviews in general, and interpreting that information into like usable data.
So the process of design has changed for me because before I would just design based on what requirements were needed. Now when I design something, I'm looking at every little detail like alignment or text. I do multiple copies of a certain design I'm working on because for me, it's like, okay, now you got to think about every little thing. Like, is this color going to look good with this? Or is this text going to look good with this? So now it's definitely looking into every little detail.
If I was to give advice to an upcoming creative or designer who is kind of hesitant and doesn't know if the creative or design path is really for them, I would tell them that, like, ignore what everyone thinks around you, ignore what your own brain tells you that you're not good enough, and just keep doing you and keep pushing, and the path will create itself.
My advice to someone who's seeking the design path is always remember there's people to support you. Even if you feel like there isn't, there are people out there, whether they be in your town or not, that care about your passion and want you to succeed in life. And always take new opportunities. Don't stick to one and just think it's going to get you somewhere. If there's a door open, take it. Don't keep it closed.
I think my biggest takeaway after this whole experience of 9 weeks at Bridgegood would be that surrounding yourself around the right people and being in the right community is the most empowering thing anyone can have, because it not only helps push you, but it pushes the people around you to be the best they can be.
Teamwork is very important. I wouldn't have been able to create many of the designs that my team and I had made if it weren't for them.
I would say the culture is very supportive, very open to new ideas, and overall just a fun, happy place.
What I'm going to miss from this UX design apprenticeship is definitely the people and, you know, the squad, Bridgegood squad, dude, they're fam. Like, they're so lit. Honestly, they came in with this attitude every day that pushed me to just work harder, and I miss actually everything. You know, it was one hell of a ride.
And of course, I will miss you, Yudi and Sean. Yeah, I'm just very appreciative for that. Like it's like a family. Yeah, that's here you introduced me to know for the real world experience that I am not even know what my career would be without you.
Okay, so we are almost at time. A couple more minutes and then the judges will start joining the main room.
All right. Okay. How's everyone feeling? Are we excited?
Yeah.
Thank you, Juan, for yes, excitement. Wandy just said it. Judging really was impossible. It was very, very difficult. Like, I don't think y'all know, like I was sweating. Everyone's like, Sean, that's not right. Sean, that's not right. And I'm like, no. But yes, no one lost here for sure. Jerry, very, very, very difficult to decide. So yeah, I think we're ready, Yudi. We have everything ready to go. When you are, maybe we'll have a few judges. Do you mind if maybe a few judges share the experience?
I just want to say I need at least 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Do we have any judges that would like to share that experience or their experience with the group?
I'll share. I thought there was an amazing amount of diversity in the images. I thought there was a really in-depth environmental feel to the visuals. Sometimes you were right on the street. Sometimes you were looking from afar, but knowing what people were thinking. I thought there was like I could be there. I could be in Oakland. So that was awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Sean, I'll say a couple words. There's a lot of nervous faces out there in the crowd, but I would just say I've judged for a couple of years now. And I would say that overall, the quality of work that I saw this evening was by far the best, and it's kind of crazy how you guys have just elevated this game year after year after year. And so I want to say, like all of you guys should be so proud of yourselves. The presentations were on point. The fact that everybody kept to the time schedule and delivered their message was incredible. So I just wanted to say how impressed I was this evening of everybody here.
I'll offer a comment here as well. I think someone in the chat said, "Oh my God, I'm still thinking about the design 10 minutes later," and I can tell you now that even an hour later, I still remember every single design I saw. I remember the story that was told. I think that's very, very powerful. Regardless, of whatever happens, like you've left an impression on everyone you've spoken with today and shared your story with, and I will forever remember all your stories and your imagery and how that came out today. So thank you.
Yeah, just to add to that, I really appreciate everyone's, just vulnerability in sharing so much. You really made this so personal, and telling and have done such a great job in just telling each of your stories, and kind of pouring yourselves and your backgrounds into each of these designs. And they're all just so amazingly well done, and had such depth and richness to them, and really appreciate it. So really enjoyed this experience. Thank you all.
Huge congratulations to all of you designers. You put your hearts, your minds, your spirit into this work. And there were so many moments when literally I was crying because of your words, because of your visuals. And this is why Oakland is such a special city, because of people like you that can capture the essence and that can create the space for people to be themselves and to shine. So all of you, thank you for this work, and keep going and keep growing and glowing. Like, you all did it.
I can speak a little bit about, this is my second year judging, and Sean and Yudi know I just get overly emotional every time. I'm always yelling and screaming in the chat because I just I want to emphasize, I didn't have this kind of thing growing up. I didn't have that many people who were here to tell me wow, your work is this good. I had my friends and my family, and we're not gassing you guys up. This is incredible work. You just happen to have Bridgegood that actually gives you a forum for people to tell you how good this work is. So you need to internalize that we're not just telling you the work is good because we're being polite. We took 3 hours out of our time because this is inspirational work, and we know that you guys are going to keep on designing. So I just want to say that it's really important that you hear from us that this is really important work that you're doing, and it's only going to get better.
I think a big thing that everyone did, and I'll keep it quick too, is capturing just feeling over just content, or however it is, what style it is you were trying to go for. The biggest thing was feeling, and every one of you achieved that, and it's truly appreciated, and all the judges definitely seen it, and that's why it took so long to even just get a solid answer to who we're gonna pick and all that. So we appreciate you all, and keep going, keep creating.
Yeah, I want to shout out Coca, who just donated to us via Venmo at Bridgegood, and Coca was last year's winner. And one of the most inspiring things for all of us at Bridgegood is seeing alum and students that go through our program succeed. And so Coca, thank you so much for donating. You definitely inspire us. And yeah, she did kill it last year for sure. What about some of the new judges for this year while Yudi's wrapping up? Did any of the new judges have some thoughts or perspectives?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all the designers for staying with the program, sticking it out. It really showed in all of your designs and all of your personal stories that you shared with it. And I am completely moved by every single one of your designs. I mean, any one of you could have been, the winners already. Certainly from the 750 that came down to the 22, you are all winners in my eyes.
Now, if I can just share real briefly, being a first-time judge, just being so inspired by all of the work that I've seen here tonight. And, with all the craziness that's happening out there in the world today, I think this event tonight is sort of like something that gives me a lot of hope for the future. So thank you all really for just everything that you've done tonight, and just being here. So really appreciate that opportunity to be a judge tonight.
Yes, I'm a first-time judge, and I was invited to this forum by Jasmine Mora, and I was totally inspired by all of you designers. A lot of you, I know you said you were nervous, but remember, nerves is a good thing. That means you're pushing yourself. Every day you're challenging yourself. I think all of us as professionals, we are nervous every day when we make new challenges. So I just want you to know that you pushing yourself tonight has inspired me.
Hi, Jerry here, also a first-time judge. I just want to call out, like, I did not expect the level of vulnerability and just being so open and brave. And I know some of you mentioned like you wanted to give up midway, and I'm really glad y'all didn't, because look where that landed you. So congratulations to all of you. And thank you for sharing your stories with us.
This is Maha, also first-time judge. In a previous role, I used to manage designers, and just what I saw today just blew me away, above and beyond. I think every image had layers and layers of storytelling to it, and it was just so incredibly sophisticated that I'm just so excited to see your work, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road. And I hope you really stick to your passion, because the power in storytelling is so needed in the world that we live in today. So thank you for all of your hard work and dedication.
Wonderful. Yeah, Yudi's still tallying up the votes. Are there any instructors here? I see Robert and Joanne. Would you all like to, or not Robert, I'm sorry, Joanne, would you like to talk about how you've been involved with then Oakland Digital and now Bridgegood, which started with your colleague, of course. Maybe just the history of DVC with Bridgegood.
Yeah, so we have been involved with Bridgegood. DVC, Diablo Valley College, was, I think, one of the first schools to get involved in this competition. And it started out with Professor Eva Cohen, who taught typography. And she was amazing. She died a year ago, so we were all really sad about that. But we have really benefited in the sense that our students have gotten these amazing opportunities. They have participated in this competition as well as the UX UI internship in the summer. And, from the feedback we get, it's just made their lives or transformed their lives in many ways. And I think they feel really excited about beginning their career, and also hopeful that they can really make it as designers. And I think this organization has just done a tremendous amount for our students.
Thank you for sharing, Joanne. And while we're still tallying up these votes, would any of the students like to say anything about their experience? I think, student voices is why we're here. So would any student like to speak up and talk about their experience?
I don't mind. Honestly, what really stood out to me is that I ended up joining one of Bridgegood's critique sessions. I think it was the very last one. And I remember you saying basically that, look, your design looks too San Francisco, you're gonna have to change it. And I'm not gonna lie, my blood ran cold at that. I was looking at it going, dang, I got like a couple days left to make this turn out from something that I'm really proud of to make something that I'm really proud of that you can also use. So I just want to thank you for your critique with that, because I am almost 100% sure that saved my butt in this competition.
Thank you for sharing.
I was really about that. I thought that was really interesting, Jessica, because one of the things that I always think about is, like, at work, I'm a manager of designers, but I'm not a designer. I often have to get feedback about how I'm doing, and my first inclination is to take it really personally, but it's just like but it's always benefited my work. So it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like that doesn't really change. It just will always benefit your work to take in however harsh the feedback might be. It's going to help you grow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel the same way too. I think for years, I think ever since I started my graphic design degree, sometimes I would just show my work to my friends, and family, and they would all say the same thing, which is like, "Oh, Amy, this looks really good." And even when I pretty much begged them to be honest, they all still say the same praise. And with this competition, this is actually my third time competing. The reason why I chose to compete for a third time was that I had quite a bit of time in my hands. Even if I increased the workload, I realized how much I love working with making designs and illustrations. And additionally, going to all the open labs, I've been to quite a few personally, and hearing all the feedback, all the honest feedback about what to improve and how I should improve it, was really useful, and it taught me that all the praise that we might be getting for friends and family might not be the most accurate, and we would need other people or other help to help us out to improve and grow as not only designers or artists, but also people. So I forgot to say this in my initial speech because I pretty much ran out of time, but thank you to Yudi and Sean for helping not only me, but everyone else in this competition. Personally, I didn't expect it to make it too very far.
Amy, that's highly inspiring. Before Yudi does the announcement, thank you, Amy, for always showing up, taking the feedback, never giving up. And like you said, this is your third round and you made it. So congratulations. Before we get to Yudi, Scoots Ramirez just donated $200. And what's interesting about Scoots is he actually DJ'd for us for about 6 or 7 years for free, every fundraiser. So Scoots, thank you so much. Appreciate your donation. And with that, congrats everyone. Yudi, take it away.
My heart is pounding so hard. One little mistake would change everything. But I caught my arrow. I made an arrow, but I caught it just in time. So here we have it. Sean, would you like to take it from here?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm not taking credit for this, Wandy created this. It's called the Above and Beyond Awards. And each year we like to give some honest praise to people that really inspired us. So with biggest growth, Robert Crockerham wins that. And we have Juan to talk about that, why we gave Robert that award. I'm sorry, Wandy, I apologize.
I was just about to say Wandy, close names. Yeah, so Robert, as we all spoke about, first of all of you went above and beyond. That's why these awards were created. But Robert, I put it in the chat, your art looked like an Outcast album. It was very unusual. It was very much came from your brain and your thinking. But then when you talked about the fact that it actually came from your daughters and they told you about a place that inspired them, a location that made them happy, that they implored you to talk about, that to me was incredible growth. It showed that you take outside inspiration from others and you seek to tell their stories as well as your own. And what I also really loved is that you alluded to the fact that at certain points you weren't sure if you could continue with the competition because of your daughters and you were inspired to do that anymore. So that kind of like ecosystem of inspiration was really, really cool. So biggest growth goes to you.
Now, thank you so much.
And with best storytelling, Tiffany?
Yep. Hi, Lonnie. As I mentioned when you were presenting, I love everything about sort of the comic feel to the Dragon Girl and the story that behind sort of your inspiration for it. So I felt like, we could pick up this comic series from you any day now. So I'm hoping that one day you'll be inspired to release maybe a comic series of your own. Great job on the storytelling element of it.
Thank you so much. It's really nice to hear that. And then
Congrats.
I do have a little bit of story, so maybe you see something in the future.
Fantastic.
Congratulations. Omar donated. Thank you, Omar. He's a graduate of ours from the UX program. Most inspirational. Who's going to present that?
Hey, this is Cliff. So first thing I want to say, congratulations to everyone here today. You're all winners in my book. So just amazing work, and do continue to keep up the good work. For most inspirational, Gracie, I'm pretty sure many others were very inspired during your presentation. It was very touching. Your vulnerability, your courage to just really share your story and how it got to you to this part and everything else. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of folks who didn't have a dry eye after that presentation. So thank you so much for all that you do and what you continue to do. And to me, it was very inspirational, and why I thought that you deserve to be recognized for that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna cry again. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I appreciate it.
Congrats. Thanks for inspiring me as well. I did want to take a quick second. Jerry Fu donated 150. Janice Ledgerwood 100. Tim, another graduate of ours. Tim, thank you, Tim. And also thank you, Aisha Nelson, for your donation as well. Kevin Louie again, thank you. And finally, with cultural relevance.
So cultural relevance is Jason Keelis. Is that right?
Yeah.
Jason, you were awesome. You showed the Oakland that I know, which is on the street level, on the sidewalk. You know, churches are all around Oakland, and I'm not a church person, but I know that they exist, and they're like the bedrock of what a lot of Oakland culture is about. And you included the telephone lines, and that's like an ugly part of Oakland, but it's a communication factor. You told a story about the people on the street and a certain time and a certain place, and I thought there was culturally something that we all need to think about. So awesome.
Thank you so much.
And I know, Yudi, you're going to come with the important part now. Ahmed, with Square, he used Cash App to donate $250. Thank you. And then Ali Cottrell, who's a judge here from Facebook, donated $100. Keep them coming. Venmo at Bridgegood. Thank you so much for supporting us. And Yudi, I will try not to interrupt us anymore. Thank you.
Yes, so right now we're gonna be showing their certificates to the 22 students that presented today. It will not be in any specific order, if I'm not mistaken. So if maybe a round of applause as I click on the end. I don't know if you want to read the names, Sean, as I'm clicking.
Yes, Amy Lou, top 22. Autumn Young, yes. Christopher Cruz. Cynthia Young. Elisa Fang. Gail Martinez. Gina Noel. Juan Lau. Gwen Thompson, not Clay Thompson, but Gwen. Jason Guyas. Yes, Jason, congrats. Jessica Romick. Jimmy Lou. Lanny Viet. Lori Marie. Luis Ramirez. Martha Graciela Ramirez. Robert Crockerham. Samran Singh. Tanner Simpson. Tiffany Chen. Yasmin Corwell.
Okay, thank you, Sean.
Okay.
I'm sorry. He's the only one who can do that, honestly. Okay, so now we are going to reveal the top 6 plus 1 honorary design. If you're wondering which order they are in order of The most votes will be presented first, and so on all the way to 7th. Okay, so here. Sorry, I muted myself.
Yudi, should we talk about what they're getting though? Because I don't think they know.
Sure.
Yeah. So this is what the top 6 designers get. Commercial billboard placement, which means 48-foot billboards, LED billboards, 60 feet, and then the bus bench placement, courtesy of Fast Agent, are the bus benches. They also get a cash stipend. All those donations we get, we actually try to give the creatives some cash for thanking them. The real world experience that you all provided, thank you, judges. Resume skills and portfolio project. We do have an open lab for just the creatives that entered to add this to the resume and portfolio. Networking with y'all, which, by the way, if you're a creative on Bridgegood, definitely reach out to them on LinkedIn. Gasper Mendoza, thank you for a donation, $50. Bridgegood design projects, Yudi, what that means is that we actually hire our students for design projects like Twilio's UX project that we had that Kevin hired us for. Shout out to Kevin and Twilio. And then, of course, these top 6 honors and certificates. I think I did it, Yudi.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
You ready? Okay. Here we go.
Congrats.
And Thompson.
Are we going to allow Gwen? Maybe if Aubrey's going to go through it, or should Gwen say?
Oh, I'm already jumping into maybe toward the end.
Gwen, do you want to say a few words here?
I am so excited and proud, and shaking. I'm just honored. Thank you.
Congratulations, Gwen. Top 6, solidarity and pride.
Okay, so 5th place, the dreamer boy.
Gracie.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys are an inspiration to me as well. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Hey, 4th place, hope for the broken in spirit.
Wow. Jason.
Well, I was not expecting that. Whoa. All right. Thank you. Whoa.
Yes, Jason. Congratulations. All right.
Stop Asian hate.
Wow. Jimmy.
Thank you. I'm so honored and thankful. Thank you, guys.
Wow.
Inspired play.
Christopher Cruz.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
All right.
Power and culture. Luis.
Luis.
Thank you.
And I believe now we have our honor placement, which is the 7th place, and that is for Yasmin, Dancing in the Clouds.
Wow. Okay. Wow, wow, wow.
I did not expect that. Oh, thank you.
Wow. Well, with that, we have a few more slides here. I just want to echo what everyone else said. You all are winners. You're going to incorporate this in your portfolio. Thank you, thank you, thank you, judges and students. This is just the beginning of your careers. Yasmin, congratulations. You did great. Everyone here did great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I just want to say, as we close another year of Inspire Oakland, to thank again all the students that took their time to work on this project and submitted their work. By submitting your work, you are brave, and that's the success that you deserve, right? You did it yourself, and like I said this during the open labs, this is a solo project, and it might be your first solo project that you take on your own. It is through the instructors are part of the support that we need as a students to take on opportunities like this. But ultimately, it was you. You sending your files, you follow the format, you believe in yourself, you tell us what about Oakland inspired you. So I just want to say thank you to you. Congratulations to all of you, the ones that are watching at home, the students that didn't make it here, but are part of this year Inspire Oakland.
And Yudi, thank you. One more round of applause for Yudi for being the true CEO, honestly, behind the scenes, always doing the hard work, and we appreciate Yudi so much. We actually need your support. If you're interested in getting your company to sponsor a billboard, thank you for making that reference. You can shoot me an email, sean@bridgegood.org or Yudi@bridgegood.org. We raised over $1,000 today, so thank you for donating today. You can Venmo and Cash App at Bridgegood. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I believe we have one on the slide here. You can also contact us. The motto at Bridgegood is always teamwork makes the dream work. We are still here for all of y'all watching. We're not going nowhere. June 4, Bridgegood grand opening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can check us out. And I think with that,
that concludes our Inspire Oakland 2020 final student presentation.
thank you all. Blessings, love, peace, gratitude. Thank you. Thank you.
You'll be
Thank you.
getting your certificate via email. And then
Congratulations.
follow up with the top 7 with next steps. So thank you, everybody. And thank you, everybody on Facebook watching us.
Yes, thank you, judges. Thank you, donors. What a dope 22. I'm inspired. Y'all can leave. I'm just gonna clap. Yudi, you gonna clap with me? Yudi, you can clap with me?
Sure, why not?
Clap, 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 clap. Clap. Oh, hey, hey, oh, hey, 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 go, go, go. Yes, 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 yes. Go, 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 go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Go.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, okay, go. Okay, we're staying until the end, Yudi. Everyone has to leave. Go, 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 go.